There's been speculation that it's Walker.
And boom.
Could you please
Rob,
reveal to
the VHR
everyone
flight
in
is
the
live.
world today?
We're live, and we're
What
about
is
to get the
name
answer
your
of the
dog?
century.
Kudasai. Arigato.
Of course.
MVP 発表で
It's not
愛
working.
犬ワンちゃん
The
We are.
The feed.
I think we're live on. Are we on YouTube?
Oh, there it is. The buffering.
Oh no.
Oh. I'm saying like the viewers can't see it because it's blacked out, but you can hear it.
Hopefully we can hear it. We are live streaming for the first time on YouTube, and eventually will be posted on Spotify. Oops. Oh, I stopped speaking as if we can understand what he's saying. Shohei Ohtani is doing his press conference right now. We're going to do our first ever, I guess, live commentary slash post commentary here for 134. We have a lot to get to as well, but the reporter from Fox LA just asked Shohei Ohtani what the name of his dog
His
is.
name is Dekoping. That's a Japanese name, and I figured it'll be hard for American people to pronounce it, so he has an American name, and it's Decoy. So, yeah, you could call him Decoy or Dekoping.
What?
How anticlimactic is that?
What?
Did he say decoy?
Decoy.
Oh, jeez. So they used him. His dog was a marketing tactic, and it wasn't even an effective one.
Oh, that's tragic.
This is terrible.
I can't believe that happened.
Wow. This guy's haircut is wild.
He's going for the beaver cut. A little.
The bald guy is still in frame. Look at him. Look at the bald guy.
Where?
The bottom right.
Oh.
So you won't be
The
pitching in
last
24, but obviously you'll be hitting.
It's unfortunate because I can't see it for some reason.
Have a better hitting season in 23.
It might be like a
Oh,
copyright
there it
thing.
is. I got it.
Where
Had to
does
click
your dog's name
Idiot.
come from?
That's a good thing.
Of course. Didn't work.
And Shohei is a unit. Look how big he is.
Pause.
Ah.
First pause.
He wore his blue tie for the.
He's on screen.
Are they outdoors?
Yeah. It's gotta be. It's LA. It's gotta be outdoors. It's gotta fit all those
Yeah,
people.
what are they? They're probably in the stadium then, right?
Probably outside of it.
由来に関してはもともとさっきも言いましたけどもともとデコイっていう名前があったので
The thing is, I never find these things interesting.
Of
The
course. This thing blacks out again.
these what's it called? These press conferences because they never actually say anything of substance. It's always like, how'd you come to your decision to go to this team? Well, I mean, the money made sense. I thought the team really puts me in an opportunity to
Get
win.
into spring training as
Right.
scheduled and be able to play in the exhibition games. I think I'll be fully ready as a hitter for opening day. And as far as the dog's name, he was originally named Decoy, so I kind of took that and made it Dekoping. It sounded more Japanese.
What?
大谷さん、
I have no idea what they're even saying.
テレビ朝日がですが、メジャーに挑戦してこの6年間、怪我もして手術もして。
How is that gonna give the dog away? What? Decoy? I guess Dodger?
Decor? What, is he going to name his dog after like a couch?
望む気持ちと試合があれば教えていただきたいんですが。
Decor.
So the past
That's
6
wild.
years, you've been through
Decor,
some
yeah.
injuries.
I named him after a nice sectional I saw at Bob's Discount.
How do you feel different?
Coincidentally,
now
at the
than
Bronx.
you felt 6
It's a dead
years ago
giveaway.
when you first
Yo, shout out to
全体的な気持ちとしては変わってないですね。常に
shout out to the Yankees. They had him at one point. You hate to
Yeah,
see it.
so
そこに対しての
it-
着地だと
in-
思っているので
wishful thinking that hopefully this won't become a train wreck, but for anybody listening or I guess watching, if you are watching this, I guess post production or post live, Shohei thought that at one point, Joel pointed out to me that 5-10 minutes ago, after a few people, I guess I'm guessing they just spoke and then eventually they opened up the floor for questions.
Right.
Ohtani said to his translator that he wasn't sure. He was under the impression that no fans would, and because there were so many people there, and his translator assured him those were not fans. Those are actually. It's actually in New York or Philly or Boston because the LA media is big, but it's not as big as in the northeast portion of the country, especially sports.
I believe
Oh,
you're right.
Nightingale's there.
Is that Nightingale?
That allows you to opt out if Mark Walter leaves.
I think your audio is cutting in and out.
Why was it important for you to
So if it
put that in
did,
there?
well, basically was saying that he thought he wasn't gonna get fan questions, and then they reiterated him, assured him that no, this is all of the media. You are a very popular guy, and he just says, "Oh."
まあ先ほども言った通りみんながこう同じ方向を向いているというのが大事だと思っているので
I can't.
I'm trying to get.
I can't stand the open, empty chair in between the translator and Ohtani. What's going on here? Is someone supposed to be sitting there to make it more awkward than it is?
The stream is up.
Stream is up, ladies
Like I
and
said
gentlemen.
earlier, everybody has to be on the same.
Look at this
page
empty
in
chair.
order to have a
This is
winning
where you can prop
organization.
someone in
I
there.
feel like,
Is
those
that
two
for
are
that chair's
top
for
of it,
Yamamoto? I'm
control
guessing.
everything.
They're waiting for him to
I feel
fly in
almost
from
like
Philly.
a
The
contract
show he's looking for the
basis.
plane. Did you see him look up just now?
Yeah.
I feel like
He's gonna parachute into the stadium like those guys that fly down with the parachutes on opening day.
not be on the same page.
All you
Things
need
might get
is
a little out of control.
The Stone Cold
I just
theme
wanted,
song,
like, a
the
safety
glass
net.
shattering. It's just like camera pans left, and it's here Yamamoto coming in.
My name is
Yeah, I
Tracy
had a joke
Kwan
that was gonna get us
with
canceled, so I'm gonna not say
I
it.
wanted to ask you, what do you know of the Dodger fan base?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
Oh my God! We've gotten to the softball portion of the press conference here.
Oh, you gotta.
What do you
warm
know
them
about
up.
the fan base? Well, I know they're very passionate. They love their baseball. They really want to win a champion. My goal as well.
Do they think that L.A. and Anaheim are in two different states? Like
They
he's
might
been
as
in
well
Cali.
be, considering how big the areas are. I mean,
I guess. I mean, I played GTA.
you know what's crazy? So this ties in. I guess this is a little bit of personal experience because these answers are not interesting at this point. We're getting to the softball portion where it's just like,
Do we cut it?
are you happy to be here? Sure, I'm happy to be here. That's fine. But from my experience, I went to 2 Dodgers games and 1 Angels game.
Right.
The Angels fans were like very. So I don't think I even touched on this on the podcast we did a few months ago, where I kind of gave a little bit of a recollection of my trip. The West Coast fans, and this is obvious. This has been pointed out to me by other folks as well, and our buddy Perry.
Willing to learn and looking forward to
That on the West Coast they're a little bit more relaxed. They have more things to worry about. They don't care as much about sports.
I'm gonna
But
cut the feed.
yeah, it's
Cut the
fine.
feed.
But when I was in Anaheim, I thought the Anaheim fans, the Angels fans, were the Northeast fans that I've seen.
Yeah.
In terms of like the West Coast folks, because when I went to the Giants game, and it was cold there, which probably didn't help, and Californians don't like being cold. But the fans were kind of into it, and they really didn't cheer. There were 2 moments that they cheered.
Yeah.
When Gabe Kapler was announced before the game, like when they did the lineups, and then in the 9th inning there was like an error or something and a player scored. But the fans really weren't into it. Dodgers fans, the first game I went to, were not into it, and then on Latino Heritage Night, I think on that Tuesday, they were very into it. It was actually kind of fun. They had like a mariachi band and stuff there.
Jeez.
But they also blew out the Brewers that night, so there was a lot to cheer about. Padres fans, not impressed, except for one moment, and that's when Tatis stole home. The place erupted, which I was in line for ice cream at the time. And then Anaheim fans I thought were great. They were the closest thing to Northeast fans that I've seen.
Really?
In terms of fan bases, I thought Boston was not. We should just trade Boston for Anaheim because I thought the Boston fans were not that loud. I thought Cleveland was a better atmosphere than Boston when I was there.
I mean, is it partially because it became big time? Boston became a big time place, so everything's
Maybe.
more over expensive.
I see. That's what I thought too. But the tickets I bought weren't that expensive. I think people just don't realize you can buy the tickets for face value. They only go to these resale apps
Probably.
and buy things on StubHub and SeatGeek and Game Time and that other one was it TickPick or whatever.
Yeah. I think so.
We bought. I bought almost all my tickets this year face value on the MLB app.
I mean, maybe we can get right into it. I mean, I listened
Let's
to
do
the Tuesday 10. Congratulations. Well done. If I had a soundboard, I would, do it, but doing an actual clapping here.
Oh wait, I think I have the sounds over here. Do I still have them?
Oh yeah, you do have soundboard. Jesus.
Golf clap.
Golf clap. There you go.
Does the emoji show up on the screen when that happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bravo. I mean, you thought of something to supplement our Tuesday episodes because, folks, I know we're streaming for the first time. Maybe
We're
it's
trying.
doing what? Crying?
We're trying anyway. Yeah.
Like someone's crying.
Hopefully some folks are watching.
I can hear Hazel just squeezing a toy in the
Yeah,
background. It's all
the
here.
dogs are with me. Anybody that doesn't typically listen or is listening for the first time or does listen but isn't aware of our audience here, I have the dogs with me because they can't be downstairs.
And if anyone's watched any past episodes, at some point, either Rob's going to have his wife in the background, not knowing, or I'll have my parents walk in the background, unassumingly. But door's locked on my end, so all is good here. Text your wife ahead of time. If you're going to be on camera, look presentable because I can't help it. We're live streaming.
Yeah,
Can't
she's
edit
not
this
in the
one
house
out.
right now. She's at the animal shelter, which is why the dogs are with me. Because if they're
doesn't
downstairs, they'll just eat the Christmas tree.
I mean, she would we'll just call B for short.
Friend of the show, yeah, friend of
B.
the show. She's with friend of the show.
Uh,
They them of the show.
They them of the show.
Yeah.
This could only bode well for her, B. Because animal shelter, that means she's either getting a dog or
Yeah, they're looking.
if your wife gets a little, what's the word? You know, like baby fever. But if she gets puppy
Buyer's
fever,
remorse. They're gonna sell the dog. What?
no. If she brings home another dog,
Nah,
Oof.
we don't. We're not getting another dog. All the dogs in shelters are big for
Listen.
our taste anyway. Not enough space
listen,
in this house.
you're not there with her. She might not be thinking clearly.
Yep. I think they're looking at cats for friend of the show
Oh, tragic.
because a friend of the show lost a cat a few months ago. Actually, lost 2 cats not that long ago. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a sign not to get another cat then. Sorry, friend of the show.
Cats are evil. They're only looking at dogs anyway. They're actually hopefully going to be here with my canes within the next hour.
Raising Cane's cold.
That's got to be canes.
It's gotta be Cane.
Ladies, yeah. So thank you for listening. It seems as though you did. I listened back. I'm not thrilled with my performance. Hopefully it gets better. But we came. I mentioned this a few months ago. Hey, yo, doing a show.
We're here. We're live, baby. We're live. This is
came up-
2 out of
We'll
4
do it live.
performance. If you were at bat, your first,
We'll do it live.
You hit a base hit, then you grounded out the third, then a clean triple and scored, and then you didn't get a chance to play because someone stole second, so you didn't get a chance to play bat. So you did
So
good.
yeah, it was a 2-1 count. Somebody got caught stealing in the inning.
Probably Castellanos.
It's not a good thing if I ground out the third because that means I rolled over just like all the Phillies did in the playoffs.
It was an
But
homage
yeah,
to it.
Exactly. Like I mentioned in the past, on the solo episode I did back in whatever, I guess August, and then you and I talked about it the next episode thereafter.
Right.
In terms of growing this and turning it into a network, which now we officially have one on YouTube, turning this into a network, it would be cool to have multiple shows, whether it be, you doing one by yourself or you with someone else or me doing one solo or with someone else. Honest to God, it came to my mind on Monday when I was driving to work. I was like, I have a lot to say about the Eagles game, or at least a fair amount to say about the Eagles game.
All right.
I think that Josh Dobbs, Linsanity run is over. And by the way, he's
Well
going to be the
said.
third quarterback this weekend.
Fall from grace.
So I was like, I just got a lot to say. And if we wait till Thursday, which is fine usually, but everybody else will have said the same things.
Right.
I was like, this is fresh in the brain. And then when I was pooping at work, I put together the 10 and went home and just winged it. I made a little bit of a run, did it. I think over time it'll be something that grows. We'll both have opportunities to do it, obviously. If you have, if you want to do it on a Tuesday or a Monday night or whatever.
That would
But
be
it'll be
impossible.
it'll be the supplemental show to go on with the network program, as Nick Saban likes to say.
That was a good callback. I caught
Thank
that
you.
in the beginning. I was like, this man is starting out swinging. That was a good that was a good double, triple. That was a good hit right there.
Yeah, we have to have discipline.
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 Very good show. And yeah, we were texting back and forth, and I was like, "Do you want to record? Like, I'm pretty tired, but I'll just do it." 'Cause I'm like, the Shohei thing broke. We didn't touch on the college football playoffs. Soto, we didn't
Yeah.
even touch that at all.
Yeah, we'll talk about that today. We did have that little bit of a bye week. I
And then
thought
the
it sucks
49ers
because
lost.
last week probably would have been the time to talk about the CFP, but I guess because bowls don't start until tomorrow, or when you're listening, maybe today, Friday the 15th or whatever, the 16th, 15th. Since bowls don't start till tomorrow, it's still kind of the most recent college football news, outside of a couple guys transferring, and it came out today. Jalen Milroe is not going into the NFL, which I don't think he would have gotten drafted anyway.
Right.
But a little bit of news came out of Temple. EJ Warner, Kurt's kid, is transferring out of Temple.
Oh,
Yeah,
where's he going?
nowhere good. I don't think he's that good.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you can go to Eastern Michigan for all I care.
He can probably light it up somewhere else.
Yeah, but that'll be our supplemental program going forward. Well, maybe we'll add a third show if we find time to be able to do like a post game show for certain things, or like I don't really know how we'll tie into it, but the idea is we want to kind of grow the network so it's not just the regular timeline. Maybe offer alternate content, and now we have video content and live content too. Hopefully this grows a little bit. We do have a Facebook page, but it's not really active, so I'm gonna hopefully grow that if we can, and then the Instagram too.
Yeah, and I'll finally make my return to social media.
There you go. After a year of absence.
It's good for an absence of celibacy, of no BS stuff. But you do get a little bit of FOMO, but it also hurts the product here. But in that 1 year, I've managed to try to elevate this platform. Now we're doing live stream on my end here.
It'll be fun. Yeah, we have the technology, believe it or not. Until my Wi-Fi starts crapping out again, then you'll have the technology.
Those are the dark times. We don't speak of those.
The worst of the Wi-Fi woes was when we used Riverside for a couple months there. I thought it was the cleanest interface.
It was.
But anytime my Wi-Fi cut out, none of my audio or video rendered. You going, and Rob, how are you today? And that's good. Yeah,
right. It would be awkward. But it was pretty cool that now we can always remember our first time we live stream, and the folks who tune in, it'll be the Shohei Ohtani press conference. Well done. Usually things happen after we record.
Yeah,
we managed to get it right there, right in the beginning.
Yeah, naturally. So. We did get the answer of the century. Hopefully the audio saves when we post. But the first thing we heard was the name of his dog, and nobody really knows what it was. I think he said Decoy. I'm gonna see if Passon posted about it.
I think it's a good thing the fans weren't there.
The only thing I see is Woj talking about Juan Toscano Anderson.
Jesus. Is he involved in another fight?
Shohei Ohtani said one reason he chose the Dodgers is because they told him the last 10 years were a failure despite winning a World Series and making it to the playoffs every year. I don't know what the hell that means.
Committing to winning. It doesn't matter if you make the playoffs. The World Series.
It's because they won a fake ring. They won the bubble ring. Okay, so Dekopin is the name of his dog in Japanese, but his
American
English name is Decoy. Yeah, Decoy. Not Decor. He didn't name his dog after a nightstand or an end table.
A decoy.
So Decoy, which is actually pretty. That's the best possible outcome here, unless his dog was named like Athletic.
Or Fanatics.
Yeah.
Trash ass company.
Or Clippers.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's get into what we have to talk about today. So first and foremost, I want to start playing the Undertaker music. We'll have a moment of silence. Fantasy football team. Benny, he thinks he's gonna dig a hole in the bed. A moment of silence for my co-host's fantasy football team as he was to call back to Shawn Michaels super kicking Ric Flair at WrestleMania, just like put to misery on Sunday/Monday as he just missed the playoffs and return to play. You're not quite the Golden Knights yet, but you came close. I thought you had a good run, and you are getting a little bit of payback in the basketball league against the same person that eliminated you in football. So if that offers any type of consolation, I'm here for it.
Not really. I'm the vanilla in this Oreo because this week in fantasy football I face him again. So it's basically he might crush me again.
Oh, you're back in the consolation.
Like what the fuck? And first of all, great callback for the Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. But I don't think Z, this person, said I love you. I think he said.
Yeah, I was gonna say something with it.
I think he said if I can't make it, you can't either. And had Fred just jump in ahead of me. This is crazy. This is criminal. I think it was an inside job.
Yeah, this is closer to.
I offered so many trades. No one wanted Josh Allen at the time. I get eliminated almost, and then everybody wants Josh Allen. No thanks.
This is closer to you get or you eliminate someone from the Royal Rumble, and then they come back in the ring and eliminate you.
Right. Like what? That don't make it make sense.
And then they pile drive you through a table, and you leave on a stretcher. Listen, we're getting back into the wrestling metaphors here as we approach WrestleMania 40. I've started budgeting for that, as I have also
budgeting, baby,
for the stadium tour.
Oh,
teased it on Instagram the other day. The stadium tour for 2024.
Let's go. Drum roll, please.
Dun, 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 dun. So 13 stadiums in the last 2 years for the missus and I, for the missus and me, for whom we have nailed down at least 2 for next year, and one of them is and a third one is in the air right now. So technically speaking, we have numbers We have number 15 and 16 nailed down, but number 14 has yet to be determined. But so opening weekend, we will either be traveling to Seattle to watch Red Sox and Mariners.
Damn.
The biggest obstacle there, however, is to come home the day that we want to come home. We would have to get on a flight at 10 p.m. the night before and arrive home at 5 a.m. There's nothing on that Sunday. It's either Saturday night late, come home early Sunday morning. Otherwise, everything else is like a layover in Atlanta or a layover in Chicago or something.
Right.
So it's either going to be Seattle, which the obstacle is obviously the flight home, or Kansas City, where the Royals would be taking on the Twins. So that'll be the first game, either of those two cities. We haven't locked in either. The Royals tickets are literally $26 though.
Oh Jesus!
And it's possible Seattle, even though it'll be cold, the roof could be closed. So
that's always a good option.
Yeah, so
I like that.
And the cool thing about going to hopefully Kansas City, if we do, is I think they are talking about either renovating or building a new stadium. So Kauffman could be on the way out. I'm happy we went to Oakland last year because we got to see that stadium before they leave.
Right.
The more interesting, I think, is stadiums 15 and 16. And because I'm grouping them together, you might be able to figure out what they are. We will be seeing the White Sox.
Oh, Jesus.
Hosting the Atlanta Braves on a Wednesday, hopefully anyway. And then we will be seeing Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers at Wrigley Field for the second series of the year in Chicago for the Cubbies. This is obviously tentative, also pending, work coverage. I don't know who's going to be with me by then, but
screw 'em.
Hopefully Wrigley. Yeah, Wrigley will be the a Friday game, and I get U.S. Cellular, whatever, or Guaranteed Rate Park, I think is the name now, would be the Wednesday prior. So technically, number 16 is the one we nailed down the first this year, which would be Wrigley, but it's actually going to be the third that we season. It's either going to be T-Mobile or Kauffman to start this year, and then
Wrigley,
Guaranteed Rate, and then Wrigley, which will be cold. And then that same weekend, we're going to come home that Saturday because WrestleMania is that same day.
Oh,
so we got a lot going on.
April 7th or 6th?
April 7th into the 6th into the 7th or 7th into the 8th.
Oh, my goodness.
But we're going to try to come home that Saturday morning. So we'll be at the Friday game, the first of the 3-game series. If we are able to, the Bulls are home that night to the Knicks. So if the Cubs play at 1 or 2, because they play a lot of day games, we'll be at the United Center not too long after. That is what's next on the ballpark tour this year. And then Cincinnati will probably be number 17.
The Reds? Oh shit!
That's the next closest stadium that we haven't gone to yet. Driving wise, it's about 9 hours or like an hour and a half flight.
Dude, that sounds like an epic, crazy, sleepless week.
Yeah,
but epic at the same time. Wrigley with
I
Shohei.
Guess, yeah.
They catch a flight home to catch the Knicks.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, so if all goes well, technically speaking, the next stadium we go to will be hopefully MetLife Stadium to see the Flyers and the Devils in February. That's my hope. Flyers, Devils in February, then the 3 baseball games, and then or possibly 4 if we go to Seattle because they'll play 2 games during the time that we're there, and then hopefully home in time for WrestleMania, and then not too long after. So it'll be a fun little thing, and we're gonna fantasy book WrestleMania toward the end of this episode too.
Yes.
As you and I are back in. I follow social media pages. I'm well aware of what's going on.
Yes. Finally.
So I'm trying my best here to get back. I'm too busy when I go on Peacock watching the old stuff though. I'm not watching the new stuff. I was watching WrestleMania 18 my last time on there.
Really? Oh, that's the good one. Yes.
That's it's probably my favorite one.
Austin Rock?
It's the year after. This is the one in Toronto, Hogan Rock.
Oh, Hogan. I got to see that again.
And Austin Hall and some good stuff. RVD Regal started the show.
RVD underrated.
One of my favorite. Not quite sure what the dogs are. What the dog doing? Wait. Okay.
Might be a good thing. Now.
Yes.
You said you're budgeting, but you also said that you're going to try to fly home the same day as WrestleMania to catch the Knicks. Are you budgeting for WrestleMania Night 1, which is arguably probably the better of the 2 nights? As we'll fantasy book this, but all consensus is
shoe came off.
Whoa! All consensus is no secret here.
The
plan might be Rollins versus CM Punk Night 1.
Yeah, I'm budgeting for both. To be honest with you.
I'm only going to one, hopefully.
You're hoping to go to Saturday, right?
I'm
You're
trying
going
to
to the
get
NXT show.
I'm going to the NXT show. I booked
Yeah.
the tickets today.
Is that indoors
Thursday.
or is that going to be at the Link also?
Wells Fargo.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That's a
Yeah.
smaller venue.
Yeah,
15,000 fans. Tickets for WrestleMania are actually not that bad. They're in I thought they were going to be like 500, like 250. I think the get-in price is like 180, but to not be behind the stage, it's like 250. So I'm not too against it. I just want to be close enough to see it. I've seen like the long shots when you I watched the MetLife like live when it was on, and when the camera is out and like panning out or is like catching an entrance, you can't see a thing. And I don't want to watch a monitor all night. But I also don't want to be too low to where you got to stand up and you won't see.
Also, you got to factor in the weather.
Yeah.
And then, does it really pay to like almost not see anything watching a monitor in the cold when you can be watching this in the comfort of your home? But I guess it's the experience because
it's a once in a lifetime. Even when I stopped watching, which was for a long time, I told people that the three things on my like sports / like I guess sports adjacent bucket list would be the World Cup, which is coming in 2026.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to catch a game, even if it's like Hungary versus like Estonia. I'm gonna try to see a game. WrestleMania is on the list, and the Home Run Derby, which is also coming in 26. So the three things that I really wanted to see in person, I'm gonna try to do. Because Mania was here in '99 and hasn't been back since. So it's been literally 25 years since the last one, and it probably won't be back for a while, especially if this doesn't go that well.
Yeah.
These cold, these outdoor, they got lucky at MetLife because it was super cold, but these outdoor ones probably don't fare very well as opposed to like SoFi and like the Cowboy Stadium and stuff.
Dallas. Oh, we have a chat going on. I forgot.
Did we?
This is the first time we're doing this. I mean, I forgot. I don't know this user's name. I mean, who's behind this user, but it says Inky. Best sports show. Shout out. Thank you. And then Inky asks, can we get some Flyers talk?
I would love to talk Flyers.
With a sleeping emoji, though, so I don't know if he does or doesn't want one.
I'm not sure how many people that are that listen want to hear about the Flyers, but yes, they look like a good team. By the way, Cutter Gauthier representing Canada at the World Juniors. They have two other guys representing their countries in the World Juniors. I don't know if Michkov is eligible still, or if, Russia might be banned anyway. But what's it called?
Gerard too. That guy.
Michkov was injured actually. He was at the KHL All-Star game, and I'm pretty sure he was injured. Oliver Bonk is going to be playing for Team Canada also. So Flyers have a lot coming up in the pipeline. Apparently, they've received a second-round offer for Miller. And teams are trying to get multiple defensemen off of them. They've received offers for Rasmus Ristolainen, Mark Stahl, Sealer Walker, and I'm sure guys like Lawton and Atkinson might be available for trade also. But right now, they're in a playoff spot. So I know that the long view is the most important one in the room, but it seems like even if they make the playoffs, they could be selling off some spare parts here. But I have a lot of faith in Danny Briere and Keith Jones.
I enjoyed this version of the Flyers team. I mean, not much was expected of them, and they're overachieving. I'm here for it. They just completed a road trip and got, 4 points, 5 points, something like that? Second in the
they've been great lately.
Division?
Yeah, they're behind. They're second in the Metro behind the Rangers, who are, I think, right now arguably the best team in the league, just by watching them.
Now I don't know if they beat Nashville because I saw that game was 2-0. Then it became 2-1 after the second.
They lost like 15 seconds in overtime.
Oh, dude!
Philip Forsberg scored. I saw the notification. That was what, Monday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Okay, I saw the notification on my phone, and I saw because I get notifications at the end of each period.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let me put it on. I put it on, and like Forsberg's up against the glass celebrating. The fans are going out. So I'm like, cool.
Fuck. It's like, no, damn it. Where else are we going to? What else? What's this?
Any other stuff with the Flyers? Probably not.
No. I wasn't expecting Flyers talk, but had to honor the chat.
We'll try our best. We'll be a little bit more prepared next
one.
time.
Yeah, this is on a whim, on a fly. Shohei was going on. I finally got the stream to work. 30 minutes in, we're good. We're live, baby. Now, I'm more excited for the end of the show, to be honest.
Yeah, let's jump through the fun stuff.
Woo. All right, let's get
Shohei.
And
it's the first time you and I are having a little bit of back and forth about it.
Yeah, for sure. I am not surprised. This was like the plan all along. The Dodgers were gearing up for this moment.
Yeah, this was the team we expected all along.
Now the contract I was not expecting at all.
No, I thought it would be 500,000. Yeah,
Jesus.
600,000. Well, that's basically what he's getting paid anyway.
Right.
So I thought it would be 500 or 600 million. I did not realize 700 was in the cards here. So Shohei earlier before we started said that he made his mind up the night before it was announced that he. Oh, God damn it!
We're live and he's gone. Something happened. I don't know where he was going with that, but this is the first time we've spoken on this Shohei Ohtani because of the work schedule. Yeah, 700 is an absurd number. Absurd number. Oh, he's back. Rob's back. Yeah, Rob. I was just gonna say, I didn't know where you were going with that, but $700 million is an absurd number to land. But he's worth every penny of it. And I know we have someone, a friend of the show, mutual friend, who doesn't think this contract is worth it, and X, Y, Z. Even go into detail. If this person wants to, someone says Rob knows. I have no idea. I think you know who this user is. I do not.
Yeah, it might be. It's either a coworker or Fireman Joe.
Fireman Joe, friend of the show.
By the way, I'm gonna get Triple H on the phone. I got to book Benny versus the Swiffer Duster for WrestleMania Night 2.
Is that does that follow Draymond Green?
Yeah,
Draymond Green might get booked.
Draymond and the Bosnian Beast in a Hell in a Cell.
You know who should be the entrance, like the guest entrance for Benny? Should be Embiid with the suck it.
Yeah, have him walking. Yeah, I could get Benny a little bit of green. So obviously I didn't hear all of what you were saying, but yeah, the Ohtani contract, and I said this, and unfortunately I saw the same thing, like literally right after I got done recording, like the next morning I saw John Boy had the same take.
Right.
That I said that they were going to make back like a sizable portion of that contract. Like, not a sizable, but like 10-20% of it and naturally Ohtani set the record on Fanatics for most jersey sales in the first 48 hours. By the way, Bryce Harper was 5th on that list, and weirdly enough, Justin Fields was 4th. So hopefully the returns are not out of date. But I don't want that. ESPN Bet just sent me a notification. By the way, I didn't tell the story about how I got locked out of ESPN Bet. I'll get to that in a minute.
I got locked out. Account. The moment I signed up for it, my account was locked. I was like, "What's going on here?"
They suspended me after Army Navy. But I think they're going to make back plenty of that money. I mean, you saw the turnout today just from the media. The fans are stoked as long as he's healthy and like still at least somewhat of a draw. When I was at Angel Stadium, they were 10 games out of first place, and that place was packed to the rafters. And literally, I'm not making this up. Still here. When we got to Angel Stadium, we went to the team store to try to get the passport book stamped.
Right.
The line in the team store was in the parking lot. Like I'm being dead serious. Out the door, literally like wrapped around like a snake. Like I would say at least 100 people deep. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the people in line were of Japanese descent or buying Ohtani stuff. So he will take that personal fan base with him to the portion of I don't know what, it's not like the Bronx and Queens like the New York, but whatever portion of LA he's going to. He's going to take all those people from Anaheim with him. They're going to be a huge draw. People are going to come into the country to see him. People are going to go there to see him. People are going to fly. Let's say the Rockies go to LA, and people are going to go, hey, let's go see our team in LA because Ohtani in person,
right?
Or wherever he goes. Like I'm going to Wrigley to see him, so I was going to go there anyway, but it turned out that he's going to be there. But there will be people in Chicago who go to games because Ohtani's in town. If I think the Dodgers come here July 9th, when they come here, they're going to be sold out, and that place is going to be fans. They're going to make plenty of money back. The $700 million is not the concern. I think really it's the 10 years because the injury. If he turns into on my solo pod back in August, not to call back too much, but. I went through the numbers of how many guys have gotten Tommy John twice, and it's not that many who have been successful on coming back. And I think all eyes are going to be on DeGrom when he comes back and Ohtani when he goes back pitching because they're the two big names that got Tommy John twice. So if he turns into just a $700 million DH, that could be trouble. Granted, he's probably the best hitter on the planet when healthy, him and Judge.
Right.
But when, if he's just a one-dimensional guy, and maybe he'll play the outfield base or something in his career, but if he gives up pitching entirely, I know it's not technically $70 million a year, but that's a $70 million a year for a guy to just hit. So if he can't pitch, that's the biggest concern here. And I know he'll be a draw. We're going to get Yamamoto. bring in whoever the big free agents are next year. They're going to be the best team in the NL most likely, unless anybody gets hurt. They still have Betts. They still have Freeman. They still have Gavin Lux, who maybe gets traded anyway. Muncie's still there. Smith is there. Rotation needs some work, which might come in the form of Glasnow and Yamamoto. But if he can't stay healthy, that's the 10 years is what concerns me, not the $68 million a year deferred.
Right. And you'd be aforementioned if you didn't mention I was gone. I was gonna say he also forgot one big puzzle in Clayton Kershaw, who's still, I think, is unsigned. He's weighing his options between Texas or L.A. I was saying you missed out on an important name. Clayton Kershaw is also unsigned, and he could also be in that rotation. If not, weighing his option between that or Texas.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back home, but I think the Dodgers, if he wants to get a real ring, this is probably the chance to do it.
Or Texas. Texas is a powerhouse too.
Yeah,
they're young.
I think it'll reflect more positively on his legacy if he does win one with the Dodgers. And he's also injured, I'm pretty sure. I think he's coming back sometime in the middle of the season, but
right.
I don't know off the top of my head. Bueller right now is pretty much their number one. They have Bobby Miller, and until they sign someone else or get someone, bring someone else in. Gonsolin got Tommy John, I'm pretty sure. Dustin May won't be back for a little while. Arias has the domestic stuff going on, so they have some trouble in that rotation.
Get Blake
I know Glasnow might be on the way, but yeah, still.
Yeah. You can get Blake Snell, maybe.
Yeah, I think Snell's going to end up in Boston. It's just weird. I just have a weird feeling it'll be Boston.
I don't know.
Or like a team like Detroit. I just don't know.
Just bring him back to Tampa Bay. Right the wrong.
Yeah.
Coach ain't there anymore.
Yeah, throw 4 innings a game.
All right. Next one, we'll touch on it real quick. John Soto appears to the Yankees. Finally, that joke landed 3 weeks ago, but we're here.
They posted it themselves too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a joke or not, but I had to retweet it right away.
So I have a question about this. And I may have mentioned this before, how social media has kind of I don't want to say like mitigated or eliminated, but it's really kind of it's really kind of taking the air out of these big announcements. Like when A-Rod became a Yankee, I remember that was a huge deal. Even when LeBron, I know he did it his decision, but it wasn't leaked beforehand. LeBron going to Cleveland, or even LeBron going to LA, or Cleveland, Miami, LA. These big names going. Cliff Lee. Today's the anniversary of Cliff Lee. I think it's been 13 years, 13 years since Cliff Lee came back to Philly. That was out of nowhere. The Soto thing. Do you think social media and being aware of everything that's going on has kind of killed the fun of these big moves? I mean, the Dame thing I know came out of nowhere, and that was kind of shocking. But we knew he was going to get moved. The Harden thing, we kind of knew he was going to get moved eventually. This kind of just came out of nowhere. I thought. I'm sorry. This is the exact opposite. Like nothing comes out of nowhere anymore, and this kind of just showed up, and we were just like, all right, well, it's inevitable. This is the package. This is who they want. The Yankees don't want to get rid of this guy. Okay, Grisham's going to go with him. Okay, now they agreed on the minor leaguers, but they don't want to trade this guy. And eventually it was just like, is it going to happen or not? Like we know it's going to happen, and they end up 2 days later going, oh, okay, it looks like it's official now.
Yeah, for sure. It's killing the allure, the surprise effect of it. It also gets messy too because everyone is basically fingertips away from breaking news, and it becomes quote unquote fake news. Like certain guys want to be first, right? They're concerned only on Ohtani, like the Ohtani story. It was like for 4 or 5 hours that Ohtani was allegedly in Toronto. The internet went ablaze. I went ablaze.
Oh, yeah, Nightingale.
Right. And then it turns out...
Who was it that got dragged? Was it Morosi that got dragged?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to look at the
I think it was
chat.
JP. Yeah, JP Morosi, I think, said Ohtani was there. Turns out it was that guy from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And he actually did it to screw the Blue Jays. So I think he I don't know if he has a vested interest in the Dodgers, but that was apparently set up from the inside to where Ohtani would get cold feet from wanting to go anywhere else because, remember they said the negotiations, if they become public or any details come out, he's not going to want to go there. So there's a rumor that was kind of from the inside.
Would that upset friend of the show, Perry?
Yes.
Did you hear this? Because, bro, Drake even tweeted out him in an
Ohtani
Ohtani
that's how
jersey.
you knew. That's when you knew he wasn't going to go to Toronto.
I was like, this is real? No, for me, I thought, I'm like, oh shit, he's actually in Toronto. Does Drake know something I don't? Like, what's going on out here?
Drake knows nothing.
Drake knows nothing. He knows how to lose bets and just kill anything.
Yeah, I will be closely monitoring to see if he's wearing a Michigan jersey close to New Year's, or an Alabama jersey, or if he even can name a player on Texas or Washington.
Hell, if he's listening to this, because now we're live streaming, so the world is connected to us. Hopefully,
He's
we're
listening.
on a diss track, on a verse, and we up here, baby. We
Yeah.
we can retire after that diss.
Exactly. Maybe Kanye's daughter can ref about us.
I can't wait for that song to drop if it hasn't
Yeah.
already. That was the snippets I saw on
I think
TikTok. Greatness. But yeah, the Soto news.
All the videos have crap quality. It felt like so anticlimactic, right?
Yeah, but you felt like he wasn't going to stay in San Diego. It was all these talks. It was just like inevitable. I didn't think he was going to go anywhere else but the Yankees. If he went to the Dodgers, that would have been shocking for me. Shocking.
Yeah, I didn't think any other teams were actually in play for him. There was a rumor that Toronto had a chance to get him, but at no point was there any like real substance to the rumors. The way like the second they started talking about the Yankees, it was Michael King and this guy and this guy and this guy, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez. It came out late that Higashioka was in the deal, and then there was the other guy, Thorpe. Drew Thorpe
Happened
was
right
in the deal.
away,
Like
too.
they got a pretty good haul for him. It's not nearly the haul that they gave up,
Right.
Kenzie Gore and the other guys, but it's for 1 year of Soto as opposed to theoretically 3.
And they didn't just get Soto; they got Trent Grisham.
Yeah.
But they gave up
Derek
Michael
Hall stunt
King.
double.
Right. They gave up Michael
King, by the way, who was pretty good last year, but he's likely going to be a reliever from now on. I don't think if they try, it's going to fail. It'll be like the Seth Lugo experiment. It'll just be like a guy that they hope will be a starter, but won't be.
Hey, it could be. He can start here and there. You know, it doesn't have to be all day. They got Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, along with other starting pitcher prospects, Drew Thorpe, as you mentioned, and catcher Kyle Higashioka, which I thought was a nice little touch of like, hey, we got some Japanese players. Come on, Ohtani. Come on, Yamamoto.
The funny thing is, he looks nothing like his name.
The name.
Higashioka's he's a decent catcher. He'll probably split time with whoever ends up being the catcher there, whether it's or Christ, I can't remember the other catcher's name. Who the hell was their catcher last year?
I don't.
It might have just been Nola. I know that Nola was in AAA at one point. But he was in AAA at one point.
This is where Perry's screaming at the television.
So Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito last year both had a cup of coffee at different times with the Yankees. I know this well because I saw Brito's first start in Baltimore when I was there, and then Randy was also on my fantasy team for a long period of time. But those two guys, they're similar to kind of like Chris Sanchez or Bailey Falter. If you're a Phillies fan listening, they're just guys that came had a cup of coffee, might have some promise. The closest thing to like a quadruple A, like a cup type of player for New York. And now their rotation's hurting. Unless they bring in Yamamoto, their rotation right now is not really all that awe-inspiring outside of Cole. And even Nestor has a question marks because they lost Severino. I'm pretty sure Domingo Germán is a free agent. So they have a little bit of a housekeeping.
They lost
and
Severino.
Clark Schmidt was only able to go like 5 innings start last year too.
They lost Severino to the Mets, and Jose Trevino, I think, is the catcher you're thinking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the who's the other Padres catcher? I don't know. I can't think of this.
It was the former Yankee who only caught for Blake Snell.
Oh,
right?
Gary Sanchez. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, Sanchez and Snell had like a 1.5 ERA together.
Tremendous. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't go after Snell if I don't get Gary Sanchez at this point.
Yeah, you got to bring them both in.
Gotta look at the numbers.
I mean, honestly, is not a horrible idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Sanchez can hit a little bit still. He's not going to be he's not 2016, 17 Sanchez, but he's still a decent hitter.
Oh man.
And obviously he his pitch framing got a lot better, and Snell loved throwing to him.
Now,
but
we got to mention this one other team, the Giants. Before yesterday's signing of their outfielder Jung-Hoo Lee, it came out that they offered almost virtually an identical contract.
Yeah, they matched it.
They matched it. And Shohei said, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I laughed pretty hard. I'm like, this is back-to-back free agent seasons where the Giants just fell flat on their face. They couldn't grab any shortstop of their liking. They didn't get Judge. They ended up with, I forget who it was, actually. And then tell me this season they come through and they almost get Ohtani, and he says, no, I'm good. craziness. I was saying like, the misfortunes of last year, and then obviously this past season before they got the big hitter.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're going to look at contract size being the exact same, and the tiebreaker goes to roster
Perry
makeup
says,
and
"What's
ability
up?"
to win.
Perry's up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. It goes to the ability to win, and then the they've built, and also the ball. Yankee Stadium's a good park for him to hit in. It's a good, like the alleys are going to favor him, especially if he when they say this about most power hitters, prolific hitters, when they're hitting the ball to the opposite field, like right center field, left center field. That's how you know they're on. Ohtani has double pop, and he also has homer pop, but to pitch in that ballpark's going to be great. Living in LA is probably going to be great outside of the but I think it's a better park for him than San Fran would have been.
Oh, for sure, 1,000%. I wonder. This deferred contract is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've never seen anything like this.
And
closest thing was the Scherzer deal.
And apparently, it's not illegal. So
no, you can defer as much as you want.
Honestly, so it opens the door for, as we mentioned earlier, like a glass now. Yamamoto, if he's at some point, Rob, he's about to like do something to these dogs. I wonder what Perry thinks. Perry, you're in the chat still, right? What do you think? Do you think no one wants to go? Are you officially back? There we go. Perry,
dogs are getting themselves into trouble here. This doesn't happen on most podcasts. Of course, now when we get, they want to be the stars of the show.
A source close to Buster Posey, which is Perry. That's the source. Perry says no one wants to go to San Fran because they don't like the city. That's what Buster Posey said.
Their cars get broken into.
Well, so does Philly. Actually, no, Philly will steal your car.
And what's crazy is I was in San Fran when I was in San Fran. It was actually right smack dab in the middle of that little thing where everybody got into. They were telling Uber drivers, people like residents, to just leave their cars unlocked. So I'm sure Shohei doesn't want to spend a bunch of money. Yeah, people are just breaking in.
No thanks.
It's too cold too, man. And LA is a much bigger market. Ohtani already has a huge fan base in Anaheim. The rich part of LA is going to help him a lot. So that's all.
I'm off that. I'm good.
By the way, Young-Hoo Lee will probably be the leadoff hitter for the Giants eventually. He profiles pretty similar to Brendan Donovan of the Cardinals. Okay. Similar numbers. He could be like a little bit better better contact rate, but a similar player to like Jake Cronenworth, I think, hitter-wise. So I think they got a decent player. That's a lot of money, but they
got money.
The almost Giants would win a World Series between the guys of all the guys they missed out on the last few seasons.
Right.
So they had to sign somebody.
Great
Maybe
point.
This is also going to help build their portfolio and their sales pitch to Yamamoto. Although it appears he's probably going to be a Yankee.
Probably going to be a Yankee. Let me see. What's next? D-backs. E-Rod. Great pickup.
Yeah, great deal for them, considering he got the same amount of money as friggin' Taijuan Walker.
Yeah. That's an interesting name. I can't wait. Taijuan was quiet during the playoffs, and then once the playoffs were over, he had a lot to say, a lot of retweets, and then ghosts ever since.
Yeah, just been posting pictures of his food. I think Eduardo Rodriguez is a great pickup for Arizona. I don't think this closes the door on it, but it could. If I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm next. I think he would fit in. If I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm making a push for Marcus. I think he would fit in. I think he would fit in perfectly on that pitching staff. Because then in a short series, and even throughout the season, obviously, but in a short series, there, Gallen game 1, Stroman game 2, Erod game 3, and then you got Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt.
I'm looking at I can't stop looking at the chat. It's hilarious. Who's Perry? If you're still listening, who are you talking about? Or Ahmet? Who's he talking about?
Stroman not going to the Mets. Yamamoto probably.
Yeah,
they're gonna make.
He
a
also
push
says
for
the
him.
Dodgers lineup sucks after the 4th spot. I don't know.
The Dodgers, it could. I think Muncy will be fine this year. Outman's a good player.
Pitches.
Hayward was great when
they
got him last year. So, and they just re-signed him. So, I think they'll be fine.
Next one from a great pitcher, great signing to questionable here. Orioles.
Got a raise.
Orioles, baby. They signed the closer, Craig Kimbrell, to a 1-year, $13 million contract. I believe this is a raise from last year.
Yeah, you got 3 more than what the Phillies gave him.
What? What did the Orioles see that we didn't? Because we saw plenty,
Yeah.
and I was over it.
I think that they just need a guy to stabilize things. And he was good in the regular. They just need a guy to stabilize things until Felix Bautista comes back. Could be, it'd probably be late in the season if at all. But I think Yenier Cano is going to end up being the primary closer there. They still have Bauman. I think Danny Coulombe is still there. They have a good bullpen. And they just called, who's that? The kid that they called last year too. Shit, what was that guy's name? They called up one of their top prospects and put him in the bullpen too. But they have pitching, and so if Kimbrel fizzles out or if he doesn't look good, they can always pull the plug on him. DL Hall is the guy I'm thinking of. They called him up toward the end of the year, and he threw out. He was actually on the postseason roster too. So for them, it's starting pitching. They already lost Kyle Gibbs. Grayson Rodriguez was pretty uninspiring last year. I thought that.
It's a young team though.
Yeah, the kid that got blown up in the play, Kramer got destroyed in that series against Texas, and Tyler Wells hit or miss. Bradish fine. John Means, they tried to get him back in time for the playoffs. I don't think he was able to. But if they get him back healthy, I think they have a decent rotation. But they have to address that too. That's another place I think Stroman could fit pretty well.
I wouldn't mind him in the Phillies, but
yeah,
because the Phillies haven't done nothing but let people
I think
go.
he would get eaten alive by the media here. He's already kind of a weirdo. Now he's got the anti-Semitic stuff attached to him.
Oh,
so
really? Oh, no.
A little bit weird stuff on Twitter last year.
Nah, I'm good. I'm off that. Speaking of the Phillies, they are one of 7 teams meeting with Yoshi Yamamoto.
Supposedly, as we speak.
As we speak, yes.
Supposedly.
But I think unlikely they'll sign him. What do you think?
No, I think he's a Dodger, a Met, or a Yankee. Don't rule out Boston. I think Boston has money burning a hole in their pocket. Every couple of years they come around, they start spending, then they dump all the payroll, then they spend again. I don't know what their rotation looks like right now outside of Sale and Pivetta, but they eventually are going to have to sign a fish. And they signed, was it Masataka Yoshida? So there's a little bit of precedent there and they also had Tazawa a while back, Hideki Okima. They signed Daisuke. Koji Uehara, I think, finished his career there. So they do have a pretty good, I guess, past with Japanese players.
That's true. That's true.
Don't forget, Yamamoto supposedly wants to play with other Japanese players. Shintaro Fujinami is an Oriole.
This is where we scout every team in baseball who has the most Japanese players.
Phillies are going to send Tadahito Iguchi and So Taguchi to the meeting, I guess. Harper is supposed to be there, but I mean, what's he going to do? Wear a Fanatic hat and all these other guys signed big contracts here.
And you can live in Jersey, like everybody else. No thanks.
Tell him, Don, bro, defer the whole contract. I'm getting an extension, by the way.
That's another thing. Like, hey, you should defer because I want an extension first.
Yeah. We also left out Jamer Candelario signing with the Reds. I think that's a good pickup. He was really good last year for the Nats. It actually kind of sucks they didn't keep him because I thought the Nats have a pretty good lineup on paper. But going forward, I think the Reds are a team that's interested in winning. And Tyler Mahle just might have been the Royals. By the way, Will Smith, the pitcher, he's been on the last 3 World Series rosters. He signed with the Royals, so throw in a future on the Kansas City, at least win the pennant next year. Seth Lugo followed him.
I mean,
and we have our first look at a clean-shaven Alex Verdugo.
I just saw this on Twitter. Jerry Caravas tweets.
Turns out Judge is going to relinquish number 99 for Verdugo. That's cool.
No shot. No fucking shot. Perry wants to know, how do you know all of this?
What?
I have no idea. I guess
I just do. Tyler Mahle's going to the Rangers. I like that pickup.
Your inside scoop. You have sources. He can't reveal your sources. That's all.
Yeah, if I reveal my sources, then it goes from inside information to just research.
Right.
Stealing from one person is plagiarism. Stealing from multiple is research.
Is that what the Astros say?
Something like that.
Last one. Yoshi Yamamoto, most likely choosing between the aforementioned teams. Where do you ultimately believe he's landing? Not 1 or 2 teams. At the end of this whole free agency, where do you think Yoshi's landing?
So I saw the report that Hideki Matsui was going to be part of the courting crew for the Yankees. He's a big star. A big star. He's like pre-Ohtani. He was kind of the Coca-Cola of Japan.
Yes.
And now Ohtani, obviously. Oh, yeah, and he was great for the Yankees. Won a World Series with him in '09. Was the World Series MVP, and then he left. Sorry, Perry, but I think it's, but also the Dodgers are sending Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani and Will Smith to the meeting, unless it's already happened. But that's the reported players that'll be at the meeting. I think if the Dodgers let him leave without at least like a sizable offer to him, that's a loss because I think he could end up in a problem. I think the Dodgers have to be the favorite right now. They have a bigger need, in my opinion, in the rotation. The Yankees have an okay rotation outside of Cole. Like I said earlier, they some question marks.
Right.
Cortez, if he can be healthy, Schmidt. Do they kick the tires on bringing back Montas on a small deal? I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head if they have Luis Heel still, but they obviously need guys there. But I think the Dodgers rotation is just two guys and nobody else. It's Buehler and Miller and nothing. So the Dodgers are also very clearly pissed off at the way they fizzled out last year and the year before. They lost to two division rivals the last 2 years in the postseason. They lost to the Padres in embarrassing fashion in 4 games, and they got swept by the
D-backs.
The Diamondbacks gave up 15. Their starting pitchers gave up 16 runs in the 3 games. Or the only 3 games.
I mean, I can't wait for Ohtani to go do the same thing. I think once you put on a Dodgers uniform in the playoffs, you're just destined for failure.
Yeah, as a starting pitcher anyway.
Yeah, unless you're in the bubble.
Yeah.
Whose bubble ring is more impressive, Dodgers or the Lakers? Or actually, that's the wrong way. Whose ring is more flagrant, more of a real
more
fake
fugazi?
One? Yeah, more fugazi. Good word there.
I think the Lakers is more legitimate.
So the Dodgers is a fugazi ring.
I think the Dodgers, shortened season, anything can happen in a 60-game season.
It was only based against the divisions, right?
You played I think
local
3 series. You played 4 series against your own division and 2 series each, 1 home, 1 away against the same region in the opposite league. So the NL East played the AL East.
Yeah.
I don't know, but 60 games. See, at least the NBA had and then they had the little restart in the bubble, and then the playoffs were a similar format to what they are now. Baseball was weird. They added playoff teams. They shortened the season. They had neutral sites outside of the wild card round. At least everything was neutral. That was just straight up basketball in the bubble. That was just that was also a test of will. So they were in that bubble for a couple months.
Kerry is adamant that he agrees. No, he says the Lakers has a more fugazi ring.
Oh, really?
But he says Garrett Cole. After Garrett Cole, who the hell knows what the starting pitchers of the Yankees?
Cortez is a big question mark. And Schmidt, if Schmidt can do it over a full season, that'll be pretty impressive. He was really good in the second half last year. But losing, the guys they lost, it's a big deal. Vasquez and Brito were good for them last year.
Right.
And don't rule out a return to the Bronx for Jordan Montgomery. Supposedly interested in him as well. I don't know what it'll cost. I don't know if he's going to hold it against them if they gave up on him that he wasn't a playoff, but that he would be a big get for them, especially just to add a good lefty number 2 in that rotation and a guy that's been there and understands the market and kind of came up through the system,
right?
And has pitched to the catchers there. He's thrown to, I don't know if he threw to Rortvedt, but he definitely threw to Trevino, who I think will have a bounce back year this year since he's getting the.
They all should.
We'll see.
Oh wait, I think it was right the first time. I think he says the Lakers have a more valid ring.
Yeah, the Dodgers won
more games. He says.
Yeah, 60-game season in the MLB against only your division and the opposite division in the other league. The Phillies never played against the Giants or the Dodgers or the Marlins 50 times, which is why they missed the playoffs.
Oh Jesus, the Marlins.
Yeah, plus the 7-inning doubleheader. At least the basketball rules were the same. It's not like they shortened the game. The 7-inning doubleheaders. All of the COVID, pushbacks and stuff. There was the COVID IL, the guys at one. The travel was weird. The Phillies at one point played 7 games, I think, 5 days.
What was that? Your audios keep cutting out.
The Phillies and Marlins played a 7-game series over the course of 5 days toward the end of the that's unheard of. In basketball, at least the schedule was.
If it was basketball, all these guys would be resting by the 3rd game.
Yeah.
No one would play. Speaking of basketball, we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on how good Joel Embiid is. He's really good. If people didn't notice, I saw a graphic. I think you posted it. That I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. It was a graphic of Luka Doncic, 38 points. It was basically like a triple double, close to a triple double. All these points, and then someone quote tweeted it saying, "Imagine if they realized who Joel Embiid was. He does this on average night."
So in the 7 games, so this Embiid's played 20 games. In 7 of those games, he hasn't even needed to play the fourth quarter.
Crazy.
They've been blowing teams out. In those 7 games, in 3 quarters, he's averaging 35 points, 11.7 rebounds, and 6.7 assists, and they're obviously undefeated in those. And those are just games where he's not playing the fourth quarter. He's technically having one of the best seasons of all time in terms of efficiency and just how good he's been. I mean, it's crazy.
He had 20 points last night against Detroit. Now, granted, Detroit and who was the other team? The Wizards were the last
They
thing?
blew out the Wizards, yeah. They've had a pretty unserious schedule recently.
Yeah, granted, they're bad teams, but that's what you want. You got to beat the bad teams, and you got to beat them down with no shot. Earlier in the season, I think their first road game, I guess, was against Detroit, and they almost lost that game. They miraculously won that game. It was in Detroit.
Yeah, you're right.
So that was a scary moment, and now they're beating teams that they should beat, and this team looks fun. Now, granted, Maxey had a bad shooting night.
It's so weird. Looking at the box score, it almost doesn't make sense how they score X number of points. Like Embiid had 41, and then the rest were 6, 8,
Toby had
18 on the bench.
Tobias
had a good game. Chris Morris can bucket off the bench. This is the best I think they've had wing depth, especially during the Embiid era. Like I can't speak on the Iverson era because the wings were so different. Then like George Lynch was your best wing and he couldn't shoot. During this current era of like kind of like Brett Brown to now, this is the best wings they've had outside maybe the Jimmy year when even then like their first guy off the bench was either Furkan or James Ennis. Like you have Nico Batum coming off the bench. You have Daniel House at your disposal. Korkmaz is still here.
Oubre.
Covington is not even playing. Oubre's been fantastic. And like you have guys. And Melton, I guess, sort of counts wing depth they've had since Embiid's been here.
Your audio is one. I'm not sure if it's the program that we're using or the mic, but maybe it picked up, but I just couldn't hear it. But what was that again with Melton?
Melton's small, but he counts, I think, as a wing. And this is the best depth they've had at the wing, spot ever.
This team looks fun. I mean, they're happier. I mean, I've heard it through interviews. I've seen it from my own eyes to the television. I'm not blind here. I have glasses, but I'm not blind. You have glasses too, but they make you look smart.
These are not for seeing. This just make me look smart.
Yes. The team looks like they're having a good old time. No cloud, no diva in the locker room.
Yeah.
And this is all James Harden. This makes James Harden look like dog shit. 'Cause if this team didn't pass, didn't assist, were in a losing streak, or looked subpar, needing a piece, James Harden was a vocal.
Yeah.
It elevates his stock, right? James Harden leaving, Clippers obviously now have to insert him into the lineup, and they were rolling, went on a losing streak. Sixers continued to ascend because he didn't play for the Sixers at all.
You know what's weird? I'm sorry.
And last thing, everyone's getting involved, and they made a big thing. Oh, Harden had to change his role to be a facilitator, and yada, yada, yada. Embiid, 6.7 averaging assists. Maxey, about the same number. Tobias is probably maybe a little less than that. Everyone's passing the ball. Everyone's shooting. And we talked about this in nauseum last year. The bench needs to score at some point.
Yeah.
And they have. And the second unit, because of Embiid's dominance, has been playing the majority of the fourth quarter. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, Korkmaz still hasn't seen the field since his trade request, which is mind-boggling. Like, he requested trade in the James Harden thing. They said no. They give him a shot. He goes off at the Fargo Center, and then he hasn't been seen since. Even with Joel Embiid blowing teams out in the fourth quarter, Korkmaz is still on the bench.
Korkmaz, anybody that's listened before, Korkmaz is Shake Milton got the award last year for me, but this year Korkmaz is the recipient of the Human Victory Cigar Award, which is when the game is out of hand and you can just sit back and light up a victory. He's the guy you game. There's also something to be said, and it kind of sucks because I would have loved to see Harden in this, but I think upgrading from Glenn Rivers to Nick Nurse can't be overstated. The players like playing for him. He's getting, I mean, Tobias early in the season looked like almost like Clipper Tobias, which sounds kind of counterintuitive because he did play for Glenn there.
Yeah.
But he looked more decisive. He was taking the threes off the catch. He was driving the ball against smaller guys. He was posting up small guys. He was, stepping back against tall guys. It would have been nice to see Harden in the system. That certainly would have probably stunted Maxi's growth. And I think the crazy thing, and this is what I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but 2 years ago, it felt like they played best basketball when Simmons was sitting out. And now this year, they're almost rallying around each other with Harden sitting out. And now, post-Harden, they've been playing great ball. And Batum feels like such a perfect fit next to Embiid. I've been saying it for a long time. We've been saying it a little bit also, texting we do. The best compliment for Embiid are shooters and like a really good ball handler. And Maxi's the great ball handler. The shooters, Batum is perfect. He's a good rebounder. He can defend. He stretches the floor. The best embodiment of the malpractice in building the roster around Embiid that I ever saw was Trevor Booker. When they brought in Trevor Booker, and even James Ennis, when Booker was here, it was like Embiid's posting up on the block and Booker's on the other block because he can't spread the floor. They bring in a guy like Batum, they bring in Covington, Marcus Morris, and B gets the ball on the block. There's 4 guys outside the 3-point line. And if you're going to double him, he's going to kick out to a shooter.
And they all can shoot it.
His numbers are going up. And also, he's getting a lot of free throws. And he does flail a little bit. He's kind of like foul grip. But for the most part, if you watch the games with your eyes and the box score, he is getting fouled. And it's because they can't guard him. It's almost like the Shaq thing. Is he getting an advantage, or is he actually that much better?
Right.
But I've been thrilled watching Embiid this year. I've been great. It's been fun watching Maxi's growth too. It almost feels like we talk about the surest things in sports are tight ends from Iowa, and it seems like from Kentucky.
Death, taxes, and then fill in the blank, right?
Yeah, tight ends from Iowa. Nick Castellanos grounding into a double play in the middle of a rally on the first pitch, and
white athletes having a high motor.
Yes, and combo guards that play for John Calipari.
Let me read the numbers.
Sure.
Embiid, 31 minutes. Sat out, I think, all of the fourth quarter, right?
So he almost played the entire first 3 quarters then.
14 to 24. 12 for 12 from the line.
Yeah.
4 offensive rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds, obviously 11. 5 assists, 2 steals, and only 2 turnovers with 1 foul. He had 41 points at a plus 27, the highest on the team.
At a certain point, I think basketball fans have to stop taking him for granted.
Right.
Sure, we can argue about him. He's not LeBron. I'm not going to tell you he is. He's not the, I think I took LeBron for granted for a long time, but he's not LeBron. He's not Kobe, but he's a guy that when he's gone, you're going to go, wow. You go on YouTube and watch his highlights, you're like, wow, this guy is actually one of the most skilled big men the game has ever seen. He really is. I know it sounds like hyperbole, but he really is kind of a modern Hakeem would have been in this era. And maybe a little bit less physical because he's drawing all these fouls from flailing a little bit. But if Hakeem played in this era, 3-point shot, he would be a great rim protector. He'd be good at rim running. Embiid's great in transition. Hakeem could. He is really like everything that we were sold and then more.
Thank God we have him.
Yeah,
it was
thank
kind
God
of sad.
Thank God he injured his back in college.
Thank God that he didn't really stick to his guns too well in saying, if Harden leaves, I'm leaving. Like, I don't want to be with part of this of an organization that's not going to want to win, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, the team rallied behind him, and Harden being dismissive of the team, and they're showing out and balling out. And the Clippers, I haven't watched most of them because obviously West Coast, so we're on the East Coast, so time difference.
They're on TNT here and there, but it's hard to stay up that late. But
this team looks far better. This team would probably whoop last year's team's ass.
Oh, like last year's Sixers?
Yeah.
Well, in a playoff series, obviously Harden would be on the team that.
But
Yeah.
But honestly, that's what it is right now. This team looks fun, looks in good shape, and like last year, I felt like they're still a point guard away, right? They're still a piece away.
Yeah.
This year,
And they still kind of need a bench point guard. They still need a backup ball handler. Beverly's been
that's it.
good, and Melton's
Beverly's
fine,
been
but they need a backup.
tremendous.
Yeah.
I'm a big Pat Bev fan now.
Yeah, me too.
Big Pat Bev fan. Pat Bev fan. He could shoot the 3 too. Don't get it twisted. And he locked up Austin Reeves for something that happened last year. That's crazy.
He had 30 points in it. Well, forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he the guy that locked up Lonzo in his NBA debut?
I believe
When
so.
Beverly was on the Clippers, he took it personally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bev had like 30 points against the Celtics that night that Embiid and Maxey were out, and they almost won.
Uh-oh. Perry has some thoughts.
Oh.
He says...
I think what's interrupting my audio is when I open up YouTube on my phone, it interferes with the audio here, so that's probably why I'm cutting out.
Perry says, who calls him Glenn? Are you being a hater? Rob, take the floor.
There's only one doc in Philadelphia. Well, there's only two docs that are in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Obviously, Doc Halliday, who
Rest in peace.
left us too soon, and Dr. J.
Yes. So that answers.
But yes, I am being a hater. He was Doc 2 years ago in the playoffs when he had a really good round against Toronto, and he was Doc last year for the first half of that Celtics. Glenn now. Mark Zumoff used to always call him Glenn Rivers too, which I thought was pretty funny.
Mark Zumoff was not a Doc Rivers fan.
Biggest loss of the Sixers the last 5 years is Mark Zumoff.
Arguably. It would have been Embiid if he did leave to the Knicks. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it goes Zumoff, Jimmy Butler, Mike Scott, and then Brett Brown for me. By the way, not enough has been made about pretty much upgrading the best player on the bench last year being Niang to about 3 or 4 guys this year between Covington. Before we get lost in all this, let's move. Draymond kind of outrageously punching
dude
Yusuf Nurkic in the face. He's suspended indefinitely and will be mandatory counseling, I think is anger management or something like that. I don't know if the Warriors play on Christmas Day, but I would imagine they'll try to get him back by then. He also put Rudy Gobert in a headlock. He kicked LeBron in the balls. Like, there's a lot of things that he's done recently.
He did something to Sabonis in the playoffs last year, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. Didn't he put him in like an arm bar or something in the playoffs? He was going for a rebound.
No, I think he stepped on him. That's what it was.
Is that what that was?
He stepped over him.
I think you're right. You're right.
And then he tried to feel like, he's in my way.
Yeah. There's a big account on TikTok and Twitter, Kofi, who you've probably seen his content. Pretty good stuff. Kofi posted something the other day on Twitter, and he said, Draymond's like suspension tape is going to be more interesting. Somebody also suggested that if you remember when LeBron broke the scoring record last year and Kareem handed him the basket, when Draymond's on the cusp of breaking the ejection record, Rasheed Wallace should be in the house for that, and like hand him like a clipboard or a towel.
Like, you did good, kid. You did good.
It'll end up being, because it's not something that just like happens. It'll be like a thing that kind of builds. It'll be almost like when Roger Maris's son was following the Yankees around for like 2 weeks waiting for Judge to break the record.
Right.
So Rasheed Wallace will have to travel with the Warriors like 3 or 4 games until Draymond.
That's how it was for Kareem. You see him dejected on the sideline.
Yeah, oh God, he looked like he had no interest in being there.
Right.
I felt the same way. I had a lot of money on him to break the record against the Bucks, and he wound up breaking it against OKC the night before they played the Bucks. I thought the script was there because Kareem was a Buck and a Laker. LeBron doing it against the Bucks felt like the right thing. Right. And then FanDuel burned me.
To answer your question, they do play on Christmas. They'll be in Denver, 2:30 p.m.
Oh my God! Could you imagine Draymond like doing the people's elbow on Nikola Jokic on Christmas Day
in front of the
actual Serbian mob would actually feel Draymond. So it's probably a good thing that he's not.
Right.
Nurkic or Jokic said about the officiating. He
hear.
Basically said if this happened, because he got.
Oh yes.
He basically said if this happened in Serbia, there'd be like a bond on your head, or like a bounty on your head.
Yeah, I've seen a clip or two. Serbian fans are just absolutely wild for basketball out there. That's
apparently also Chicago. Apparently Chicago has a pretty sizable like pocket of what's it called, Serbians.
Really?
So Jokic getting ejected in Chicago was a big deal to some Serbian fans who probably bought tickets to be there.
Was that the game that was the only time he would come to town? It was like a Serbian night and he got ejected?
Yeah, because it's Eastern Conference, so he only comes down once. It'll be like him coming here and getting ejected. Or 2 years ago when we paid to see LeBron and he didn't play.
That was stuck in traffic to see him on the bench. Was
Oh,
crazy.
Christ. We missed the first quarter anyway, so.
Right.
So, the Giannis thing, we got to talk about the Giannis thing. Then we maybe some or something. All right, now they want to be the start of the show again. Giannis getting pissed off about the game ball thing last night, getting in Tyrese Halliburton's face, I think was a joke. Obviously, the media won't tell you this, but he shot 32 free throws last night.
Sure.
And here's a stat for you. So Giannis, of course, congratulations to him, 64 points, career high. That's a big deal. Excuse me. Here is a stat for you. So it was a bit of a blowout, not like a full-on, absolutely murdered type of blowout. Where the hell is this tweet?
Well, no, I have it in the. I have it.
Okay, cool. So 13 of those points came in the final 5:22. And the Pacers pretty much emptied their bench and put in the Korkmazes for that last couple minutes. So, Giannis was out there scoring against like used car salesmen and, G League players and padding his stats. And then he wanted to fight the ball boy. And after the game, it was possible that he thought that he wasn't even given the real ball.
Yeah.
He was given a ball out of the practice gym because the Pacers wanted to give it to, I forget the kid's name, but somebody scored their first NBA last. Yeah, Mark Cuban said that they should have just printed out the score sheet and had all of his. Be honest for that.
What was that part?
Cuban suggested that they print out the score sheet, give the game ball to one of the, and then print out the score. And that would be the artifact for that player. Instead of, because you can't give the game ball to both.
Well, I mean, Rick Carlisle said that it was like an embarrassment, but there was actually 2 game balls. They kept one because the kid had his first point.
Yeah.
And that's the one that they had, and then Giannis went and took it. But I don't know if you saw this. Maybe you did in passing, but on Twitter, Worldwide Rob, he posted a video of actually the Bucks did get the ball because once the game was over, a security guard or an official for the Bucks ran over to the ref and got the game ball from the ref.
Yeah.
But Giannis, I guess, didn't see it. What's going on?
The other part,
These guys are just soft right now.
Yeah, Wob also posted the kid that they were talking about getting his first points in the NBA last night. Yeah. He did score the final bucket in the fake championship last week against the Lakers. But if you remember, so that was technically his first NBA bucket. Thing is, that was the one game of the in-season tournament that doesn't count toward record or statistics because it was the 83rd game for the Lakers and Pacers. So technically, on the score sheet, that was not his real first bucket in the NBA. It doesn't count toward his season numbers. So if you want to get technical, I'm sure the Lakers kept that ball too because it was their, the NBA Cup title.
Right.
But whatever.
I mean, and then Giannis on the sidelines getting animated because his brother got hard foul after checking Halliburton to the ground.
Funniest part of this whole thing is when Giannis was pulled from the game. Thanasis came in, and they were giving a standing ovation to Giannis, and Thanasis thought they were cheering him coming into the game. He started waving until he realized what was happening.
I mean, the only standing ovation for a man that gets off the bench should be Brian Scalabrine, Derrick Rose, and Furkan Korkmaz.
And Udonis Haslem.
And Udonis Haslem in Miami. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
You remember the report that came out last year? Haslem is contemplating come back from
a
fucking break. Are you kidding me?
You're lucky he didn't get snuffed by Jimmy Buckets out there. That's crazy.
That dude played one game like 3 years ago, and he got into an altercation. Who was the Sixer that he got into? He got into it with a Sixer. Who the hell was it?
The Candle? The one that you have, Scott?
Was it Mike Scott?
I can see that.
It was either it could have been Mike Scott. It might have been.
I don't see TJ Connell.
Damn, I forget who it was. But Haslem got into it with it was either been Drummond maybe. I forget who it was, but he got ejected for it.
Let's see. It was Dwight Howard.
Oh, Dwight Howard. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I forgot he was here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
With the Miami Vice jerseys.
Yeah, great jersey until they rode them the third year they did them.
Right.
NFL's golden child, Patrick Mahomes, was seen and heard complaining to Josh Allen. He has since apologized. He has since apologized. He apparently called Josh Allen and apologized for being such a fucking whiny baby. I touched on it. I'm interested. I want to hear what you have to say.
Dude, you covered it brilliantly, but as you mentioned, there's no little bit back and forth. Brother, I know you're over the Super Bowl and the call was the call, but no, that's the perfect time to bring up the call. Bradbury held. Yes, we all know he held, but
Yeah.
you didn't see that little bitch complaining then. He was like this. Look, foul, foul. You didn't
With his
complain
hands,
then, and it was
weirdly out against his hips like he always
And
walks.
come on every play there's holding. There's some kind of thing on every. If that was the case, it'd be a flag show. It'd be which ref can throw the most flags at the end of the game would win. That's what it would be like.
The illegal contact against the Jets was even more flagrant because the flag didn't come out till after he threw the interception, which pissed me off. And on that, I think on the scramble on that same drive, there was that hold on lineman that didn't go called. That wasn't called.
Like
I forget who was it that got held. Was it Jermaine Johnson? I think was the edge getting held on that play by the left tackle, and they didn't call it.
Does he believe that he can be like, I'm Patrick Mahomes. You have to give me a warning. You blow the whistle and tell me, hey man, he's actually like, tell him to go back a little bit. Like, do you want him the official to run to the middle of the field, say, hey Tony, just back up. There you go. I can't see the ball. All right, you can continue. Like, and Big Red. I mean, I know you're trying to like defend your quarterback and your team for your wide receivers' incompetency.
And he has to. Yeah, he's got. I understand.
But you know damn well he was in the wrong. And what do you mean you need a warning, brother? That's the worst thing that came out of his mouth. That we should get a warning for that. Excuse me, son? Nah, I'm cool. Mahomes, sourpuss. I'm not a fan. Like, he's good. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but like, you complain to your opponent, Josh Allen, that, hey man, that was a bad call after he just basically won the game. And Josh Allen just looks at him like, all right, man, peace. Fuck you too.
Sure.
Terrible, bro. Sore loser.
You know what else is funny is the same over that same weekend. A clip came out yesterday. Tyreek Hill in the Monday game for there's a clip of him lining up offside and then looking at the ball and stepping back and lining up correctly, which makes it even funnier because, I mean, he didn't have to be it didn't look like he was looking at the sideline. Oh shit! I backed up a little bit. He didn't even look at the side judge. Tony, the clip came out of Tony looking at the side judge. He pointed, didn't wait for the response, and then just lined up and went. I think if he lines up and the guy tells him, "Hey, move back," he listens and moves back.
All right.
I think he just believed that he's garnered enough attention in the NFL that, oh yeah, he's a star. We'll let him line up.
It's malpractice at all.
I think it's ridiculous.
Saying it didn't affect the. I mean, would we be talking about this if Kelsey threw the ball and it got tipped, or Tony dropped it?
Yeah,
a flag's a flag.
I was saying this to one of my coworkers. If the ball had just fallen incomplete on the throw to Kelsey, I don't think Mahomes is flipping out about it. It's the fact that the outcome of the play was a favorable thing for Kansas City, and then the next play was pretty. I think it was an incomplete pass. I think that's what he was more pissed about. I thought maybe initially he was pissed about like a lack of a passer, and it was like kind of a delayed response. Pitched him after the game. I thought, okay, maybe he got hit late or got hit below the leg, like below the knees, or like whatever, and it never happened. It was just he was mad about that after the fact. I just think he doesn't know how to lose with class. I really lost a little bit of respect. There's nothing.
Bitching on the sidelines.
I've always liked him. Yeah, I've always liked him. But his wife posting that shit on Instagram, MVP with the official. The official walking, I thought was kind of stupid.
She makes it worse.
Stop talking about sport if you don't fucking understand them. Like,
right.
That annoyed me.
Imagine if Taylor Swift was there.
The Bills are undefeated with Taylor Swift in the building, by the way.
Imagine, She was? All right.
The Bills are undefeated with her in the building.
That's funny. Imagine if she was there, right? Next to Brittany, as Brittany's like recording and then writing MVP and posting, and she looks over. Like, that don't look good. Taylor, separate entirely from her. You don't want none of that sauce. Get away. Run. And Swiftie fans, if you're ever listening to this, because now we're live, we're good. Swifties and I, we're good. I don't want no heat.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, even though you worship Satan. The funniest part of the Taylor Swift thing, and then we can move on to the picks. My favorite thing about the Taylor Swift thing in the NFL this year is she has watched like 4 or 5 games, and it's kind of cool that she's there. She probably thinks that Zach Wilson, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen are the face of the NFL. He saw Jordan Love outplay Mahomes and saw Zach Wilson play his butt off on that Sunday night game.
Oh my god! And I don't think
I hope she goes home. She's like, "Hey, Dad, this Wilson guy. Apparently he's dating his mom's friend, but like he's a really good at football." And meanwhile, she throws on WFAN, and they're like, "This Wilson guy, we got better."
What do you mean? He's great.
They're ready to.
He just beat Patrick Mahomes.
I heard Perry will like this if he's still here. I was listening to the Michael K show yesterday, even though I know he doesn't like K. A caller called in and said that they should let Daniel Jones go in the offseason, draft Bo Nix, and have Nix and Tommy DeVito battle it out for the starting job in training camp next year.
Give me that. I'm all for it.
I need it. I don't know where Jones would go. By the way, Ohtani, Shohei Ohtani, the tweet of the year. Somebody posted on Twitter, the Shohei Ohtani contract is the largest contract in sports history until the Giants extend Daniel Jones again.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's curious what do you do with Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. I mean, I would say Tommy DeVito.
I mean, DeVito is nothing special, I don't think. I know it's fun because he's a local kid. And he's got the Italian name and everything. He's got the weird, the mob boss for an agent, and they are 3-0, sure, but they
Sorry, I flipped off the monitor. I thought I was gonna deliver breaking news. I have Yamamoto here in a Phillies jersey. I'm like, no shot, and it says,
I would have gotten the passing bomb.
Yeah, I know. I didn't look at who wrote it. It says sources are telling me the Phillies pulled out all the stops for the Yamamoto meeting.
Oh,
they had Dylan
finally
Covey.
We got news.
They had Dylan Covey, Rodolfo Castro, Garrett Stubbs, and a 12-pack of Miller Lite at a dance party with a smoke machine in the clubhouse. Sources are telling me Yamamoto was enamored.
All right, for what it's worth, we did finally get breaking news on the podcast. The Dodgers have made the Tyler Glasnow trade. They bring in Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot, trading Ryan Pepio, who's probably great for the Rays, outfield. And moments before that, Jack Flaherty signs with the Detroit Tigers. So a little bit of pitching on the way to Detroit, who actually had a pretty good rotation. And then obviously Glasnow helps a lot. He's brings a little bit of veteran presence to that team. He'll pitch really well for the half of it. Hopefully for them, the second half of the year is when we'll see. They do have a good bullpen too. I think they just brought back Daniel Hudson again.
I mean, you see this right here? That is class. I don't know if you could see it. I mean,
he's cooking.
He's cooking all right. Shout out to Passon and Jared Carabas, my baseball insiders here.
All right. Let's jump into the one recurring segment people are probably aware of. The NFL Week 15 picks, although it's only recurring once every year because it's only 1 week 15. But we do the picks every week. We pick game winners. We also pick an underdog of the week, like a lock of the week, and we think will win the most. Pick a game against the spread and a total. So it's been a while since we've done this together because last week we had a little bit of a bye week. We were anxiously awaiting our bid to the college football playoff, but we are back.
Right.
And I guess we'll start tonight. Game starting in about 20 minutes. We have the Vegas Raiders, led by Aiden O'Connell, and the Los Angeles Chargers, led by Easton Stick, which I had a couple of when I was a kid growing up. Who do you like in this game?
Oh, man. Give me the Raiders at home. They're going to show out. I mean, that pitiful performance against the Vikings does not determine this team's direction.
So I know not too many people listen, unfortunately, but I did say a couple weeks ago Jake Browning is legit. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Easton Stick is pretty good too. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Oof. We'll see. I mean,
we have 3 Saturday. I'm sorry.
For the sake of Black Monday, which we all can consensusly say, Brandon Staley is good as gone.
Yeah, I think the favorites are
the clock hits at midnight. That's all.
Yeah, the favorites are Riverboat and Staley.
Oh, but Belichick's gone too.
I think both teams are scared to fire those guys. Belichick could be going too.
No, is going.
We don't know if that's confirmed. I did see it. I don't know if it's confirmed though.
Come on, you know it is.
Right. What are you doing?
What's this?
Sweetie?
Perry saying Bob Nightingale reporting ... I don't know if that's a joke.
Jeez. Yeah, probably reporting that Ohtani's on his way to Saturn.
Yes, we do need sound effects for the picks. We're efforting here on the pod. Oh wait,
we're doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
My favorite.
So let's redo this again. It's not live, right? It's not live. I'll go with the Raiders tonight. I'll go with the Raiders. I like their team.
Oh, you're going with. By the way, my 2 favorite Boomer calls recently. Boomer the other day said, I want to Brock and roll all night and pretty every day, which is fantastic. You got that. And also, my other one is, I think his best one to date is Minshew. Returns Minshew's name into a sneeze. We got 3 Saturday games this week. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Like we said, Dobbs' sanity has kind of run. Browning sanity is taken off. Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Nick Mullins, legend. And the Minnesota, whatever the hell they're called, Vikings. Dobbs will be inactive. He will be the 3rd emergency quarterback this week. The Niners rule as they get a 3rd quarterback. Cincy at home. What do you like?
Give me Cincy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well.
I'm all in. All in. If
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
with
to
you.
get Josh Dobbs as a 3rd stringer, and we saw 3 points out of that entire game, I mean, I was working. Thank God I didn't sit through that. How was Red Zone, by the way, on that? I guess you almost forgot that it was on because they only show if you're in the red zone.
Yeah, they didn't show that. I think we are trending. I'll say this. I have a tie candidate. We're trending toward a 0-0 tie. Last week, 2 weeks ago, you remember, they covered the 5.5 by winning 6-0 Patriots. Last week, the Vikings covered the 2.5 by winning 3-0 over the Raiders. I think this week we get a 0-0 tie. My tie candidate this week is, if CJ Stroud doesn't play, it's Houston versus Tennessee. That's my 0-0 candidate of the week, with an outside chance that the Giants and the Saints go 0-0.
So you want to go on record and say in a tie?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
The second Saturday game, Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. This is a fun one. Pittsburgh coming off a really kind of embarrassing loss to the Patriots, and Indianapolis seems to be rolling recently with Steichen and Minshew.
Right.
I am going to lock it in. I love Indianapolis in this game.
Same. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Saturday night's main event, Denver at Detroit, a battle between the DEs.
This is no. Let's cut it. This is too easy. This is
This is a rematch of those old Rams and Seahawks games with Wilson and Jared Goff.
Right.
This is a potential Super Bowl preview, folks. Detroit minus 4.5 at home, who coming off a pretty uninspiring win against the Chargers.
Cue the sound effect for Perry. You know where I'm going with this. It's no brainers.
No way.
All the way.
Broncos country, let's rock.
1000%.
So we differ on another one. I'm going Detroit. I think this is a bounce back chance for Detroit. Their defense has been in shambles the last few weeks, but I think this is an opportunity for them to get right.
Defense has been in shambles since Thanksgiving. They ain't going nowhere.
Next up is the Unders Bowl. Chicago at Cleveland. This is the Justin Fields against the newly referred, cryogenically unfrozen Joe Flacco, who was fucking amazing last weekend. Cleveland minus 3 at home. Chicago's defense has been in top 10 in the league the last 6 weeks ever since getting Montez Sweat. So Chicago does look like they're on the right track, but they still suck. I'm going to go Cleveland here.
I mean, Chicago,
I don't know.
Give me Cleveland. They're at home.
Okay.
They're the top defense in the league, if not second. I mean, as you mentioned on the Tuesday 10, if you listen, people, tune in Tuesdays. Rob will drop his solo pod there, the Rob Tuesday 10, that you said there's not many MVP candidates out there, and very rarely do they give it to a position player. Myles Garrett, deservingly of the MVP. This dude,
I think he's been great this year.
And on a contract year, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Doing well. Give me the Browns.
I did, however, I put my foot in my mouth when I said there's 3 teams I don't want to face in the playoffs, and one of those 3 lost on Monday night. So the we have the Bay Bowl, Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. Green Bay minus 3.5 at home. 1.5 is the runner in there. This is so I did not mean to foreshadow, but I said nobody wants to go play in Green Bay, especially Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff. I feel like I have to pick Green Bay here because Baker Mayfield's going there to play.
Right.
So I guess I'm going to go with Green Bay here.
For the sake of it, I'll go with the Bucks.
Okay.
I think, dude, the best quarterback in that division is I'm drawing a blank. Baker Mayfield right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And that division is so poor. All 3 of these teams are in playoff position, and they're playing. This is playoff football for the NFC South from here on out.
And Green Bay's got a chance to win that division. If Detroit, wets their pants on Saturday night again, then Green Bay has a chance to move up in the first place.
Also, a little nugget. I'm surprised you didn't mention this. This is one of 2 team matchups that have the initials with 2 letters in them. Green Bay,
we got 2 of
Tampa,
them this week. This
and
is the
Kansas
Bay Bowl.
City, and New England.
If the Jets didn't exist, then Giants and Saints would also be in the same boat because then there would only be one NY team. Hazel.
There you go.
Next up, we have Houston versus Tennessee. Tennessee's -3 at home, coming off a really good win Monday. This line leads me to think that Stroud won't play, but Levis looked fantastic Monday night against who may or may not be just a giant Fugazi team at this point.
That's a mess.
And this is a big game for Tennessee to get back in the playoff race down in the South. I mean, Christ, if they can rattle off a couple, they have a chance to make the playoffs too.
Unbelievable. Football is unbelievable.
Yeah. Can't predict it.
Like the Bills were 6-6, I believe, and they won by the skin of their teeth, and they survived, and they're still in it. Jets won, by the way, against C.J. Stroud. I'm lost for words.
I don't know what
I'm
to
going
say
with
about that.
Tennessee.
Well, Stroud did get hurt. I'm going to go Tennessee also, actually.
I mean, it is a good defense the Jets have, but putting up almost virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. This next game,
Wait,
I'm not sure how to.
You have Tennessee
I'm
well?
going to go. I'm going. Yeah.
So no tie.
No, no tie. Well, I mean, I guess I'll.
Hey, I went for a tie. I went for it a few weeks ago.
We have the Jets and the Dolphins in the next one. It's an 8.5-point line. This is tough because Miami does beat up on bad teams, but I don't think the Jets are a bad team. The Jets are a weird team, and Miami's kind of an embarrassing loss. I don't know if this is going to be a Miami blowout or a Jets win by 2-3. I'm actually leaning towards the Jets here.
While you're leaning, I'll catch you because I'm all in on the Jets. Remember last week, Miami was -13.5. Let me say that one more time. -13.5 on Monday Night Football against Tennessee, and I picked Tennessee plus 13.5 in the points for later in the segment last week. That was a good game towards the end.
It was a great game.
Right now, Jets beating Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jets as well, actually.
This also is a script because Aaron Rodgers ramping up. He's ramping up.
I still think he's full of malarkey.
He's gonna blue ball Jet fans.
Yeah, he's not actually. He's the hold me back guy here, and I like Rodgers.
You got
Kansas City, New England. I'm sorry, I'm going Jets. Yeah.
Oh, you got Jets.
I'm going with the Jetropolitans. Kansas City, New England. Kansas City -8.5 on the road against New England. This is the game that was actually flexed out on Monday.
Thank God.
And moved to 1 o'clock on Sunday. I'm going to go Kansas City. This is a get-right opportunity for them. They're going to blow the Patriots out. What do you think?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Unless Belichick wants to have one last hurrah and troll Patriot fans and Rob Kraft and beating the Chiefs, there's no shot.
I think this is his the next 4 weeks are his audition to go join Saban in Alabama.
No shot.
Yeah.
No shot.
Next up, we have the Giants and the Saints. There's no reason the Saints should. I have half a mind to take the Giants out. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Fuck it, I hate this, but I'm gonna go Giants in this game.
Why do you hate it, baby? Let's go Giants. Let's go. I'm all in on Tommy DeVito.
Hey,
I'm all in. I can't wait to see the shots around the Superdome of people doing the Italian gesture as the Giants are winning and driving.
Did you see the tailgate food they had? They had like a feast in the parking lot, cutlets,
brother. I
rolls.
Can't wait to go to MetLife when they play. I can't wait.
The good thing here is if the Giants keep winning, that Christmas game here becomes like must-watch football in the Eagles and Giants.
I can't
like a
wait.
playoff preview again. Atlanta, Carolina. This is in Carolina, but Atlanta's -3. Pretty difficult to pick Carolina at this juncture. I'm going to go Atlanta.
Is this the game that you put the women and children to bed?
I mean, that's if it might not be on cable. This game. This might be available on like Comedy Central or something.
Oh shit! Give me the Falcons. Arthur
yeah,
Smith.
This will be on after TNA Impact.
If it wasn't for a bad division, Arthur Smith would be probably on the chopping block.
Yeah, he'd be working FedEx. Washington and Los Angeles. The Rams are -6.5 at home. Sam Howell's had a good season. The Rams actually kind of showed us something last week in a losing effort against the Ravens. What do you like here?
I mean, I don't think Washington can press on any defense after they lost their defensive ends. I don't know.
I think they just cut a corner too. I forget the name, but I'm pretty sure they just released one.
And I think this is the game that we'll find out if there are Washington fans around the nation because
Yeah.
anytime any team that plays in Los Angeles, they travel well. Let's see if there's any Redskins / Commander fans out there. Give me
This
the
might
Rams.
be one of those. I'm gonna go Rams too. This might be one of those crowds from 2021 where like they were like 25% capacity. Because trust me, no Rams fans are going to this game.
Do you think
They're
this
too
is
busy. They're still in line at Dodger Stadium at the team store.
what's more likely to happen? A, Washington fans pack that place. B, the 25% capacity that you just mentioned. Or C, a Germany / London where there's a plethora of jerseys all over the place.
People are wearing like Raiders jerseys. I think it'll actually
free game. Let's go.
So I honestly think it'll be about half full or half empty, depending on how you look at it. I don't think it'll be a sellout. San Francisco at Arizona, New York City. These are not your father's Cardinals. Although the Josh Dobbs Cardinals did beat the Cowboys. But San Francisco's rolling right now.
I hate that team.
Yeah, me too.
San Fran, no question, but
Yeah,
that 12.5 looks a little.
I don't know. They just blew out the. They covered 13.5, I think, against Seattle last week. So.
But they play tough until the end where they get blown out.
Yeah, it did kind of fall apart. This is the. This is finally a measuring stick game for the Dallas Cowboys playing against Boston. Dallas with a lot of momentum. This probably should be the Sunday night game. Actually, no, the Sunday night game's pretty.
Yeah.
Dallas coming off a big win against a rival team in the Eagles. Also coming off a pretty good win the week prior against Seattle. Buffalo coming off a huge win. So Buffalo's -1.5 at home. The total's 50.5. I think that's a little high.
Yeah.
This is a tough game. This is a very difficult. What the hell is going on here?
What the hell is going on around here? Got Vince Lombardi out here. Yeah, this line is crazy, folks. Perry, if you're still watching, what do you think? What do you think? Or if anybody is commenting here on the YouTube page, comment in the chat and we'll read them. It says you need sound effect. Yeah, we do. 1.5 for Buffalo, but 50.5 over under. Don't know what the weather's like in Buffalo, and Rob is back. Not sure. I mean, we're recording on a Thursday night, so this will air Friday morning. So by the time you listen to this, it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if the line will move. Don't know if the total will move. Don't know what the weather's going to be like Sunday.
Yeah. I think it stays close to 1.5. I think that total drops a few points, though. I think it ends up being about 49.5 or 48.5.
You know who I did drop? Gabe Davis. The reason I lost my fantasy against Z gave me 1.4 points. Pitiful performance.
That's only 0.4 less than Mike Evans got me. For the record, I will go. I think Buffalo humbles the Cowboys and does the Eagles a favor here. Because the Eagles need Cowboys to at least lose one game the rest of the way. Then the Eagles can technically finish with a better record, although they still have to take advantage of or take care of their business. Buffalo's in a more dire spot, especially at home.
That's true.
Is this the Nance Romo game?
Yeah. No.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah. I can't imagine him going to L.A. or Arizona to see those blowout games.
Unless they have one of the Saturday games.
God, that would suck. I mean, I could see them doing Detroit-Denver.
Yeah, well, I have the Week 16 announcer schedule, not the Week 15. Oh, here's Week 15. Nance Romo have Jets and Dolphins.
I love that.
This is a Fox venture. This is Burkhardt, Olsen, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi.
Oh, that makes sense. Dallas.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Dallas. They get every Dallas game. They get every Dallas game. Makes no sense.
Well, that's how it was when Buck and Aikman.
Yeah. Who do you like here?
Cowboys.
Okay.
Look, Bills lost to that depleted, weak-ass Eagles defense.
Yeah.
This Cowboys defense is not the Eagles defense. They're going to humble. And Josh Allen turns over the ball consistently. I would know that.
Although he played a pretty clean game last week against Kansas City, though.
Well, Kansas City is a former shell of themselves, as you saw, whining and bitching over a call that happened on their own dime. Craziness. Yeah. Give me Cowboys on the road to shock the world here.
All right.
They're rolling.
Let's go to the Sunday night game. Baltimore at Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming off a couple bad losses. One to the Bengals at home, and then one on the road in Cleveland. Trevor Lawrence hopefully getting closer to 100%. Baltimore coming off a pretty gutsy win against the Rams. Backup punt returner scored a touchdown. Baltimore -3.5. The total's 42.5 in this one.
Give me Baltimore. Jacksonville. I'm in and out.
They're starting to lose that division. I mean, the Texans right on their heels. Titans are starting to make a run. The Colts are in it. That's a tough division. That might be the best, like the most evenly matched division in the league right now.
Right. Yeah, give me the Ravens. How about you?
I want to pick Jacksonville, so I'm going to pick Jacksonville.
There you go.
I think that their marquee win is waiting for them, and I think there's no better place than Sunday Night Football. And then finally, waiting all weekend for Monday night. Eagles, Seahawks. Eagles are -3.5 on the road here. They have not beaten the Seahawks since 2008. Obviously, very different teams from that time period. I will say this. Until this year, the Jets had never beaten the Eagles. I think these trends are bullshit. I think the Eagles win this game. I think this is their get right. They can't lose 3 in a row. I don't think Jalen Hurts has ever lost 3 games in a row.
He's going to lose 3 games in a row. Bucket, Seattle. Historically,
yeah,
Seattle
it's a tough place.
Plays us difficult. And they've been in Seattle, I don't know, 4 years ago, it feels like. I think they come here all the time now.
The Eagles played Seattle at home in the playoffs in 19 when McCown tore his hamstring and Carson got CTE. They lost to the next year. Last time the Eagles were in Seattle, I think 17.
Exactly.
Which would have been the game after they beat the Rams to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, give me Seahawks.
This could be a get-right game. Throws all.
Your audio's cutting off.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised. But yeah, I would say it's a get-right game for both teams, actually.
Could be.
Seriously, for the Eagles. They're the poster child for that one.
Yeah.
All right, TTP. This is where we pick a lock of the week, a dog of the week. We do the points and the totals. And earlier in the season, we're doing Survivor, but...
Yeah, we both died.
I died early. Probably 4
I died
weeks
not too long after.
So, Rob, I'll hand it off to you first. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the total.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Okay.
I'm going to go over in Washington Rams, 50.5.
I wrote this and I didn't realize... What? 50.5?
Is it 50? Well, Sam Howell is like the leading passer in the NFL. The Rams are coming off a couple big performances.
You saying over?
If it's lower, if it's lower than that, I'm still taking the over.
Are you saying over?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's 50.5.
Jesus Christ! I wrote it and didn't think anything of it. That's absurd. What do you think? Matt Stafford's just gonna light it up on them?
Well, I think they're both gonna light it up. Stafford and Howell.
In front of like half empty, half full.
A couple hundred people will pay a couple $100 to get there.
All right. If you go over, I'll go under. 50.5, Dallas, Buffalo.
Okay, I like that too. That was going to be that would have been, if we had a second pick, that would have been my second pick.
I like that.
I think that line's too high.
Way too high.
Well, obviously we both do. What do you want to go with next?
Let's do dog.
Okay.
I'll take if you can cue it up for me. Broncos country. Let's ride. I think they're going to do it.
Broncos country, let's rock.
I'll tell you right now. I'll do you one better for the fans out here because we're doing this live. Denver's not only going to win this, but mark my words, will be the division winners. Kansas City is falling apart.
They need a little bit of help from their friends in New England then.
Belichick's smiling with that satisfaction.
Yeah. Let's see. My dog this week.
And be enemy.
You know what? Let's go with the Jags.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, let's go Jacksonville.
Dogs
I like
at home
that.
is crazy.
Yeah, 3.5 makes sense. So Baltimore's been great this year, but I think they're due for a letdown game.
Evan Ingram's got to step up.
Yeah, Lawrence hopefully is more healthy this week. A little bit extra time to get ready because of that game.
And you're at home.
Let's do points. I know this is kind of a cop out, but I'm going to go Indianapolis -1. I love them.
Indy -1.5. Okay. All right. What the fudge? I put 4.5.
Oops.
Not good. All right, I'll get. Oh, this is too easy. New York Giants +6.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Gimme.
That's even if Jameis plays, I don't think that. I think the Saints are better with Jameis under center.
Right.
But if Carr plays, they're not winning by 6.
All right, and now for the lock.
Yeah, this is where I historically struggle.
Which is crazy. The 49ers are always a lock.
Yeah.
Oh, Right in my face. Browns.
Ooh, I like that. Let's go with my lock, Kansas City, this week.
Not bad, not bad.
Partially because if they win, it helps me. If they lose, it's hilarious.
And it continues on the trend that you're historically bad at these.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not bad. I'm not mad at these picks. That Jets Miami game is gonna be crazy. All right, last part of the show before we wrap up.
Yes, a little bit of fantasy booking.
A little bit of fantasy booking as we're approaching the 2-hour mark here on the stream here, on the first ever podcast stream.
Yeah.
All right. December looks like it's under WWE, under Triple H, obviously. No more Vince. December is now looking like the month to ramp up all the storylines as we head into WrestleMania season that dawns upon us in April 6th and 7th, I believe. And no pay-per-view, I believe, at the end of December, at the end of the year. They're going to actually have a week off, which is historically never been the case under Vince. So.
I like that. I remember when I was a kid, they would do that, though, because the shows around Christmas time would just be...
like a holiday.
Like, they would be like review shows of all the cool stuff that happened throughout the year.
Right. So, Triple H kept his word when he took over that wrestlers should be with their families during the holiday season.
I think that's cool.
Break. So he's doing that. But we got CM Punk not too long ago debuted. Randy Orton returned. A lot of storylines. And obviously now they're ramping up all the little nuggets in these promos. We have the Royal Rumble in January in Tampa. Australia gets to the Elimination Chamber in February. March is basically the month where there's no pay-per-view because you're ramping up for WrestleMania. That is on the first week of April.
And then they go overseas again for the pay-per-view after Mania, right?
I didn't check that far.
Payback, I think, is in like...
I think it's Payback.
It's in like Brazil, I think.
Holy shit. Oh, no. Who's Brazilian? I can't think of a Brazilian.
Oh, it's in Germany. I'm sorry. It's in Germany.
Oh, Germany. Oh, yeah, the UK
people. I think. Yeah, the UK pay-per-views are big.
I mean, WWE saw how AEW did in London.
Yeah.
They want a piece of that pie by going to Germany.
Yeah, they're in no, it's called Backlash in France.
Backlash in France. All right, so it's in France.
Cody Rhodes is front and center on the poster, by the way. Roman Reigns, of course, nowhere to be found because the guy works less than me. It's ridiculous. That guy works. He doesn't work at all.
He doesn't, honestly. I mean,
he works less than The Rock, and The Rock has another job.
He's part-time.
You can't be part-time and be the 3-year champion.
Hey, man. Rock was for a little bit. Brock Lesnar was.
He's not Andre the Giant. It's ridiculous.
They're trying to make it seem that way.
He's not. He'll never be that. He's a... By the way, do you know that he was college Calvin Johnson?
I did not.
They were captains, yeah. Joe Anawan. Defensive end.
Exposing the business here.
Yeah, breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe.
He was surprised to find out that before the games you don't actually finish beforehand. It's just it's a 3-hour shoot. He's a mark.
He's a mock.
So what do you want? What are we doing here?
What do you want to see come April, or if you want, what do you want to see happen to the Royal Rumble that will obviously lead to the WrestleMania? Because Elimination Chamber, that's just a filler.
I kind of don't care about that. The middle pay-per-view the title has only changed hands in the middle once. And that was 01 to set up Austin Rock in the Astrodome. Right. You almost never get that. And with the current climate, Rollins title I wouldn't be surprised if neither of them are in a title match. That Roman definitely won't be because he won't be around until
they'll probably
next
be in like
October.
A six-man tag.
Yeah, he'll be in like him and Heyman against Jim Cornette and I don't know.
With a tennis racket.
Yeah. So basically, who do you want to see win the Royal Rumble?
Yeah. Who do you want to see the Royal Rumble? And then obviously, you would imagine both champions will be on that night facing a contender.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know who would make sense for Roman to face at this point because he hasn't had a feud in
decades.
So honestly, I think what would be cool is two things I want to see in the Rumble.
Right.
Well, 3 things. I'll tie them together. I think the winner of the Rumble should be somebody that faces Rollins, most likely. Because I think what should happen is Cody gets eliminated by and that sets up the feud. Instead of having him win back-to-back Rumble, They should have Cody be one of the final, like, have name and eliminate Cody, despite him not being in the match, which could set up him versus Roman, and then the winner of the Rumble would face Roman. Which I would like to be CM Punk. I'd rather.
Your audio is cutting off completely.
This is fucking ridiculous.
I think it's calling it a wrap. I didn't hear anything you said. I patiently
Of course
waited.
not. Yeah, of course fucking not. You give me your idea because my fucking computer sucks.
All right, tell me this: Final 4 in the Royal Rumble, right? Fuck who got eliminated and who comes out first, all that nonsense. We'll do that at a later episode. Final 4. You would imagine Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
CM Punk. Give me Walter.
Who?
The big dude who has like the Intercontinental title. Walter,
Oh,
right?
Gunther?
Gunther. Jesus.
Walter.
Well, that was his name when he was in the UK.
Not Jeff Dunham's stick figure Walter.
No. And then the fourth person.
It's usually I feel like the final 4. The fourth person's usually like somebody that kind of hangs around.
Oh, Jey Uso.
Okay.
The guy who says yeet. But then he might.
So I think one of the final 4 should be. Cody should definitely be. Can you hear me?
Yeah. LA Knight.
Okay. So I think Cody should be one of the final 4. I think LA should be match championship. I think one of the final 4 should be a surprise. Is AJ Styles?
AJ Styles is there.
So AJ, I think, makes sense to be one of the.
Oh, Randy.
Randy
just came back though.
Yeah, I think Randy should be. So my audio. I think the 3 things that are, Cody gets a little interference guy, like a guy that's not in the match.
Okay.
And that sets up his feud with.
Storyline.
I think Rollins run in and eliminate Punk by not being in the match. Which would be the next pay-per-view, I guess. If you can blow it off there. Because realistically, either Cody has to, because they're probably main event of Mania, right? Unless you do a triple threat.
God, I would hate a triple threat in Philly. I already saw it too many times.
Triple threats are not good. They're kind of booking themselves into a corner. It's going to have to be Cody. But
they put themselves in that corner because they bigged him up so much, and they're doing this storyline where he has to finish the story. And then here comes CM Punk. I got to finish my story. I never made an event at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think LA Knight should be up against Rollins at the.
To be honest,
I know they're both good guys.
Well, he can't though, because Rollins is on Raw and LA's on SmackDown.
I thought the World Heavyweight title was on SmackDown for some. I guess maybe I got it mixed up.
No, the heavyweight title's on Raw, and then the
Undisputed
Universal is on SmackDown.
The part-time champion on SmackDown.
Yeah, the part-time champion is on SmackDown.
So I guess LA would have to face Roman, but Roman's not. They already beat him, so
yeah, he already did.
Yeah, I don't know. You're kind of stuck. Rollins, I guess Rollins maybe finally gets McIntyre one-on-one at the Rumble.
Probably, but he's currently feuding with Jey Uso.
Yeah, but he's pissed off at Uso because Uso got the title shot against Rollins.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, see, I'm paying attention. So realistically, they kind of screw themselves here. I think Cody should not, which means CM Punk has to. But I think Cody should get eliminated by, or maybe because he's scared to face him again. But the problem is you're going to build him up again and have him lose again, Mania.
Do you swerve everyone and have The Miz win the Royal Rumble?
Is he still around?
Yeah.
It should be Miz against Cody Rhodes at Mania with the exclusive rights to the band that makes their music going forward. So after whoever loses has to get a new theme song.
I like Cody's.
They should have the band Downstate in on a pole. It'll be Downstate on a pole match, and whoever wins and pulls them off the pole gets to keep their theme song. Speaking
of that, Dom should just win it at that point.
Dom just lost his title the other day, didn't he?
Exactly. Setting up for the Rumble.
So, the thing is, the Final Four, there's always a guy in there that is not really like a main event guy. Like the one year Mr. Perfect was in it. Batista was there the next year before he was a star. Mark Henry, I think, was a Final Four guy at one point. So I think maybe Dom being a Final Four.
That's plausible. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it would be nice, but he's not up there just yet.
Yeah, well, they've also planted the seeds for a Dom Punk kind of program. So if they can maybe have Punk throw him out, maybe they go at it at Elimination Chamber, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, that would be the play. That would be the play.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that they named the pay-per-view after the match. Because then you have to have that.
It's Vince.
I hate it.
Vince.
It was better when it was a surprise. So, fantasy booking Mania, I have a couple matches in mind.
Let's go.
Has Miz already faced LA Knight?
Yeah.
Damn it.
It wasn't good.
Oh, okay. That doesn't surprise me. I think we should definitely get Gunther.
Punk?
But
Gunther?
it can't be for a title, though.
Punk and
because
Gunther, you said?
Brock.
Oh, Brock and Gunther. Oh,
but Brock doesn't need the title, though.
Then he has to drop it.
He's going to drop it or he's going to lose, which I think is fine.
Well, he has to drop it before
Probably.
he faces Brock.
Well, he can beat Brock. That's fine.
Brock doesn't lose when he comes back. He always wins.
I think it'd be cool. I mean, who are the tag champs currently?
The Judgment Day, which is Dom's boys. It's
Okay.
Finn Balor and
well, I feel like they might start disintegrating soon because Dom just lost his title, so they might lose at Mania. Maybe you put Jay with somebody. Maybe you put Jay with LA Knight or some shit. I don't know.
They might lose at Royal Rumble.
Who are they facing?
Who knows? But
We have no matches announced yet. I think that they could be kind of like an evolution type of fallout where Flair and Batista lost the titles and Orton lost the Intercontinental title and Triple H lost his title, and they kind of just fall apart. I think they're all fine on their own.
it's interesting because the quote-unquote
Finn
leader...
Balor doesn't need a stable.
He does.
He's so good.
Hopefully under Triple H he'll be good. Under Vince he needed a stable to survive.
But he was
out there.
great when he was the Demon.
Well, he's only the Demon once a year.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's literally it. But
I kind of like him, and I like Priest a lot too. I think he's going to be a star.
they're trying.
Maybe
well,
we get Priest and Rollins.
Well, Priest has the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Money in the Bank. But here's the thing: there's a dissension in the group, right?
Yep.
Power dynamic because he thinks he's the leader, and then Judgment. The other guys are saying there is no leader, but we all are one. Yep. Rhea kind of takes some of the brunt of being the leader, and she's like the dominant one, and she's the one that's the most over.
She's kind of the alpha, yeah.
Right. And like you just said, Evolution kind of breakup, right? Dom loses the tag titles, and then she loses her title. But here's the thing. She's been so dominant, you can drop it now because she's from Australia. The February pay-per-view is in Australia. You think she's going to be winning the Rumble. She's got to win at her hometown, but then drops it at WrestleMania in Philly. Philly would be it's an outrage.
Who would realistically she face?
There's no one. Unless they bring back Sasha Banks, who's a free agent now.
Mercedes, whatever.
Mercedes, yeah. She might be the only one.
Because Charlotte just tore her ACL the other night.
Yeah, she got fucked up.
Yeah,
and
Sasha's
Becky's past the belt. She doesn't need it.
Yeah.
There's no new stars. NXT are the new stars, but they're coming up. They're not ready for a title shot.
Yeah, I don't know enough to pick a winner for that, but I think the tag titles. The program has to start now.
Yeah, it has to start now.
Whoever it is they face.
Definitely in January, it's going to really ramp up. Before the
I mean,
Rumble.
if you're not going to build Cody to be the main event guy against, why not flirt with the idea of having him and Randy team together and have them be the guys that derail that, because they already faced each titles on tag champ. That could be.
Yeah,
and they don't. Those two don't need, but it would elevate the other guys.
Right.
And then it would also free them up to pursue.
Triple H has to clean all this up. All of Vince's.
Yeah, he's got
to,
it. In a lot of ways, bringing Punk back is actually kind of Dom said that him Roman, which theoretically would be for the title, but that's if Punk is still healthy by then.
Right, or he hasn't sabotaged the company at that point.
Yeah, he hasn't punched anybody in the face. Well, he's getting him a new.
And we'll touch, and that's the last thing we'll touch on. He's getting them a new TV deal, most likely, on TNT TBS, where coincidentally the company that fired him and let him go for being a nuisance to the company is currently on, and they don't want to renew them.
Yeah.
The internet would have a field day if Warner Brothers says, yeah, we're not renewing you guys at the end of the year or end of the contract. We're bringing in WWE to take your spots.
Yeah. Which is kind of how they put ECW out of business back in the day, because they had the TNN deal. and they stole that and went and put Raw on Viacom and stole their TV deal. And then Heyman pretty much had to file bankruptcy.
And here's the thing: AEW, they absorbed ROH, I believe.
Oh, did they?
I believe they absorbed ROH, or they have some kind of TV deal where they have.
They like share talent, don't they?
They share talent, and they share talent also from Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Those guys come over. So if you're telling me you get off TV, A, B, you get bumped for WWE.
Yeah. And plus you have a third party coming in now because TNA's coming back in January.
Exactly.
Which I think is actually going to be pretty good. They have Scott D'Amore booking for them, which I love him. If you watch, you'll probably like the product because they just signed a guy from Japan too.
Kushida?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Yoshihiro. No.
What?
No, not kidding.
Oh, all right.
They just signed
Hiroshima. That's fucked up. Sorry. It's late.
The hell is it? Who was it? Well, they re-signed Eddie Edwards.
Perry's like, I'm out. No more wrestling talk. I'm out.
And they just signed. Who the fuck did they sign? Kushida.
Kushida. That's a good pickup. I like that.
Yeah. So and they've Scott D'Amore writing for them. I think they still have. I think Kazarian works for them. They have Chris Sabin. They're going to be fine. And with that, we're losing listeners.
Oh yeah, we lost. Perry's gone. He's like, wrestling. I'm out.
Time to watch Yes Network.
And send us a a screen grab of a podcast.
WFAN, yeah.
Telling you how Yamamoto is not going to be a Yankee. That would be heartbreaking for Yankee fans to look at. You got Soto. That's your big ticket. All right? Relax.
Yeah.
The Phillies got nobody. We lost Craig Kimbrell and some other people.
And they signed
Nola,
yeah.
I guess that's our big ticket.
Yeah, I guess so. They're not bringing anybody else in.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, guys. This has been episode 134 of the PA Turn Pod. To be named later. I mean, what is going on here? Oh, thank God. My phone over here is recording everything that I'm saying. And it's about to send it to somebody that was not supposed to be sent to. Craziness. All right. First stream in the books, just like our, first few episodes when we started this journey. 2 hours long.
Yeah.
But
coming off a bye.
Off a bye. And we had the Shohei Ohtani thing at the very beginning, which was awesome. We had Perry, and we had possibly Fireman Joe in the chat, and others probably watching from afar. We'll see you next Thursday, but in between that, Rob will see you Tuesday for the Tuesday 10.
Yes.
Any teasers that you have planned for us, or you'll drop them during the Instagram?
I'm actually not sure. Maybe I'll tell the story of how I got locked out of ESPN Bet.
Yes.
Which I think I shared with you, but that's not going to be. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It definitely. I'm instead of Monday because the game will have happened.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit of Yamamoto, and maybe if any other news happens. I think it'll. And then a baseball. Maybe I'll do. I don't. I think one of the Tuesday 10 might be a list because I've yet to do the favorite movie that not many people.
That's a perfect time to execute that one.
Yeah.
All right. For Rob, I'm Joel. We'll see you next week and on Tuesday for the Tuesday 10. And Decoy, we now know your name.
Yeah. Good boy.
See ya.